try for point. They're going for two. The handoff. It's a Campbell. He's in, and you couldn't ask for a more exciting Orange Bowl in this one.
Games marked by legendary players, coaches, and rivalries, and dramatic victories.
Going for two. Gill takes, looks, rolls, throws, deflected away. They tried for two and didn't make it.
For the national championship, it's slotted. It is in the air, and it is no good.
Schlesinger and Phillips in the eye to snap to Tommy, and they give him the trap play, and it's Schlesinger inside the 5. In there for the touchdown. He's got the touchdown.
Glorious moments all, and the promise of more to come. Virginia Tech head coach Frank Beamer and his senior quarterback Jim Druckenmiller led the Hokies to their second straight Big East title and a top 10 ranking. All-America Cornell Brown and the Tech defense plan on keeping them there. Tom Osborne's Nebraska Cornhuskers faced hard times in their defense of the national title with losses to Arizona State and Texas. They are number 6 in the polls. But the Huskers have vowed to stick together, and with that always powerful rushing attack, they look to run past the Hokies tonight. It's Virginia Tech and Nebraska meeting for the first time ever at the 63rd FedEx Orange Bowl, next on CBS. Tonight, the FedEx Orange Bowl begins a new era as the Orange Bowl is no longer played in the Orange Bowl. The game has moved a few miles north of downtown Miami to beautiful Pro Player Stadium, where the Nebraska Cornhuskers have found their way to the new home. It might be a new ballpark, but they are familiar faces. They're in the Orange Bowl for the 5th time in the last 6 years. They enter this Orange Bowl Classic with a record of 10-2 and a number 6 ranking. And tonight the Cornhuskers extend their NCAA record bowl streak to 28 straight years. They have taken the field on an absolutely perfect night for football in South Florida. 75 degrees as we approach kickoff. The wind is not a factor, and there's little chance of rain as we ring in a new year. And here come the Hokies of Virginia Tech off their best regular season in school history at 10-1. First time, Sean McDonough along with Mike Mayock. It's great to have you with us. Certainly these are two dramatically different programs in terms of history, and they come into this game from different directions. Nebraska on the downer, the loss to Texas in the Big 12 championship game. They're not used to being in a New Year's Day game and not playing for the national championship. Tech thinks this could be the game that puts their program over the hump in terms of respect nationally.
Hey, let's face it, this is a program that's won 20 of their last 21 games, and the irony tonight is they're playing against the program they most emulate, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. So truly, Sean, tonight is a benchmark evening for this Virginia Tech program.
And the Hokies, while enjoying their best season in school history, have been led on the field by the senior quarterback, Jim Druckenmiller.
This guy is special. Folks around the country, if you haven't seen him play, 6'5", 237, looks just like Jim Kelly to me. Great touch, runs a no-huddle offense, but if there's one knock against him, it's his feet. Take a look at him shake and bake on the option, and another thing, he can move his feet in that pocket as well as most quarterbacks.
It has been a great season, tarnished somewhat by the off-the-field problems that Pat O'Brien and Craig James addressed moments ago, and they do have an effect on these two teams. Nebraska certainly has had off-the-field problems as well, but for Virginia Tech, the recent suspension is their starting fullback Brian Edmonds, and for Nebraska, Terrell Farley, a great linebacker, is not here.
Hey, Farley's rated as high as number 7 in one of the National Football League combines. His loss is particularly difficult. They're going to try and use 2 or 3 players to pick up the slack. There will be a drop in productivity. For Virginia Tech, What they lose in Edmonds, well, he's a heck of a blocker and he's got great experience, but they pick up a tailback converted to fullback, better running back, Marcus Parker.
And when you play in Nebraska, you have to worry about slowing down their pass rush. Their two rush ends are All-Americans, Jared Tomich and Grant Wistrom. What does Frank Beamer have in mind?
Hey, they've got a great screen package. Here's my favorite. Druckenmiller rolls right back to the fullback, and they get those big three offensive linemen, center guard and tackle in front 2 weeks ago against Virginia. Watch Druckenmiller roll hard right, expands the defense with them, back across the green. Edmonds makes the catch. 900 pounds of beef in front of him, makes the cut. Touchdown. That will slow down an aggressive defense.
Well, we don't know about the emotional readiness of Nebraska. We do know that the Virginia Tech Hokies are sky high for this one.
It's huge. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than the Orange Bowl versus Nebraska. You know, that's what you dream about as a child.
I think this is the biggest game in Tech history. It's all about respect, really.
You know, if we could beat the big dog, this is our final chance for, you know, the ultimate recognition.
Hopefully, you know, everything will go accordingly, and we'll come on top, and, you know, New Year's will be a bang.
We'll ring in the new year from Miami. The FedEx Orange Bowl next on CBS Sports. Virginia Tech and Nebraska ready to go here in Miami. We're pleased to be joined down on the sidelines tonight by Dave Logan. Dave?
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. As you've already mentioned, this is a different game for Nebraska tonight. For the past 3 years, they have played for the national championship. That will not happen this evening, so one may wonder, what's the motivation? How do they get up for this football game? Well, just moments ago, I talked to Tom Osborne, and he said, this team doesn't need to be motivated. They're self-motivated. They want to go out a winner, a lot of pride in Nebraska. But if you do want to look for motivation, all they have to do is remember the Texas game. Because if it were not for that loss, then perhaps this year they would be playing for a national championship. Sean?
They expected to be doing just that in the Sugar Bowl with the loss to Texas. Thwarted their hopes for the unprecedented third straight national championship. Virginia Tech kicked off by Jimmy Kibble down to the goal line. Returned by Kenny Cheatham. And he got banged down at the 24-yard line.
Now, Sean, today, Nebraska to win the football game, Scott Frost has got to play the best game of his career, and defensively, they got to turn that front four loose. They can't wait to get a piece of Druckenmiller. Virginia, they've talked all week. They got to stop the run. Easier said than done. And lastly, they need a balanced offense. They've got to give Druckenmiller time to throw the ball. My wild card, special teams, field position. Who will make the big play on special teams? Ultimately, I think will decide the football game.
And as Lou Holtz mentioned, both teams outstanding on special teams. From their own 25, quick throw by Frost. Brennan Holbein. And the split end is out across the 30 and down at the 31. Scott Frost, the transfer from Stanford, in his first year as starting quarterback at Nebraska. He's only thrown 3 interceptions. Nebraska as a team has only thrown 3 interceptions. Only Army and Ohio University have thrown fewer. Of course, all 3 are better known as running team. All at a gain of 5 on the pass to Holbein. Damon Benning starting at I-back. And he gets driven back after a short gain out near the 33-yard line by Kerwin Hairston. For Nebraska, injuries at I-back, so Damon Benning, ordinarily a third-string player, gets the start. Schuster, the fullback. Wiggins at wingback. Holbein, the split end, and Tim Carpenter, the tight end. They'll use 3 tight ends tonight in a rotation. Outstanding offensive line. A change tonight. Josh Hestu starts at center. Aaron Taylor moves to guard. Chris Dishman from guard to tackle. And on the right side, Zadiska and Anderson. Benning is the first down and more. Out near midfield. Finally taken down by the middle linebacker, Tony Morrison. Gain of 14 for Benning, the senior from Omaha. For Virginia Tech on defense, Cornell Brown is an All-American defensive end, joined up front by Waverly Jackson, Kerwin Hairston, and John Engelberger, who's playing with a broken nose. Morrison just made the tackle. Brandon Simonis, an All-Big East linebacker, with Myron Newsom, also an All-Big East linebacker this year. And in the secondary, Lauren Johnson, Torian Gray, Pearson Prelo, and Antonio Banks. Benning weaves across midfield and picks up 5. Again, Kerwin Hairston was able to trip him up. Amon Green ordinarily would be the starting I-back for Nebraska. He says he's at about 85 to 90%. He's had turf toe, and he's also had a stress fracture of his foot.
And I watched him very closely Saturday and Sunday. He got through his first 2 practices since the injury. I thought he moved pretty well, better than anybody else they had.
Frost appears to be changing the play on 2nd and 5. Goes to the quick pass, incomplete, looking for Jeff Lake. And it'll be just underway and no score here in Miami. Far less than capacity crowd on hand here at Pro Player Stadium. Ordinarily, Nebraska brings down tens of thousands of fans, but they only sold 8,000 of their 15,000 ticket allotment. Pass over the middle for Benning. He's dropped short of the first down. Slipped as he tried to cut, and we walked on the field before the game. The areas that are newly painted with the logos are very slippery at midfield and in the end zones, and it looked like the turf might have caused Benning a problem there. He was knocked down by Torian Gray.
Yeah, good job by the safeties there. Gray and Prelo coming up and making sure the tackle got made short, well short of first down yardage. But this is where you've got to be careful. They're going to be in a prevent, a safe defense right here. It's 4th and about 2 or 3 on your own side of the 50, so Tech's got to be careful.
Jesse Cush is the punter. He's a junior from Columbus, Nebraska. Has had a great year. And it bounces near the goal line and hops into the end zone for a touchback. Officially a 45-yard punt, but they net only 25 yards. The Hokies on offense after this. No score as Virginia Tech is about to go on offense for the first time with 11:53 remaining in the first quarter. We mentioned at the outset this is the 28th consecutive year in which Nebraska has appeared in the bowl. That's the NCAA all-time record. Second longest active streak is Michigan, making its 22nd consecutive appearance this year. And as you might expect, Florida State, Penn State, and Ohio State on the list of longest active bowl streaks. Virginia Tech will open out of the shotgun with Jim Druckenmiller at quarterback.
Remember, they never huddle. No huddle offense the entire game.
And Oxendine stayed in the block, and the long pass is caught and then dropped by Sean Scales. He was turning to run upfield at about the 46-yard line. They had a chance for a big play on the first play, and Scales dropped it. Mike Minter had coverage, but Scales was behind him.
One of the keys to the game today, or can the Tech wide receivers get off the press coverage? And look, a little flag route over the head of number 10, Michael Minter. The ball is right in his hands. In a game like this, you don't get those kind of opportunities against Nebraska. You got to make the play.
Once again, Tech spreads the field on 2nd and 10. Finally gets to Druckenmiller. It's Grant Wistrom, the All-American right rush end. He's their team leader in sacks, now 10.5 for the year. For Virginia Tech on offense, Ken Oxendine is the tailback. Marcus Parker for the suspended Edmonds at fullback. Scales and White, the wideouts, and Brian Jennings, an all Big East tight end. The offensive line averages 305 pounds. Haygood, Washington, Conady, DiNapoli, and Washington again. The Washingtons are brothers from left to right.
Interesting play selection. They started out in gun. All 3 plays. First 2 were passes.
Loss of 4 on the sack. 3rd down and 14. Druckenmiller again scrambling for his life. Dumps it for Oxendine. Just his 5th catch of the year, and it results in a first down and much more. Ken Oxendine all the way to the 42-yard line. Michael Booker made the tackle. Well, they say Druckenmiller isn't very mobile. That might be the one criticism of Druckenmiller, and we've seen this season that's a lot of baloney.
Sean, we talked about the top of the program. The one cut against him is that he doesn't have great feet or mobility. from a reverse angle. Watch the guy get away from first Wistrom right there. He steps up. He feels the pressure from Hess, gets away from that, gets away from Ogard, and dumps it off to Oxendine. At this point, the athletic ability of Oxendine not only gets the first down, but picks up some blocking down the field, makes a big play for Virginia Tech in their first series. And did you see Jason Peter without the helmet jumping in at the end?
You mentioned they don't throw to the backs much. Just the 5th catch of the year for Oxendine. It goes for 41 yards on 3rd down and 14. They get a big play after they blew a chance for a huge play to start the game on the drop pass. Now back to the run for the first time, and it's Oxendine, who ran into Jeff Ogard and Grant Wistrom, 2 of the 4 defenders up front, with Jason Peter and Jared Tomich, a great defensive line for Nebraska. Jamel Williams is the team's leading tackler. John Hess, the middle linebacker. Ryan Terwilliger for the suspended Farley and Will linebacker. Michael Booker, Eric Stokes, Mike Minter, and Ralph Brown, the secondary. Minter moved up and played some linebacker in the games against Colorado and Texas. It worked well against Colorado, not well against Texas. He's back in the secondary, and Terwilliger starts at linebacker. Druckenmiller with a lot of time, has a man open, and it is incomplete. Another ball that could have been caught. This time it was Cornelius White who had it go through his hands. He beat Ralph Brown, the true freshman, who had the coverage.
Ralph Brown got beat, but the free safety also bit on the play action fake. Turned his back completely on it. This is a case where Druckenmiller did not make a good throw. Minter's beat, Brown is beat, and the ball is thrown behind the receiver, White. If he throws it over the other shoulder, it's a touchdown. Still, White gets both hands on the football.
3rd down and 9. Only 5 interceptions thrown by Druckenmiller this year, and only 1 in the last 7 games. He's under a heavy rush, and he throws it away in the direction of Marcus Parker, and there is no flag on the play. Very close to grounding, but there was no flag from a Big Ten officiating crew working this game tonight.
But once again, he did what a quarterback should do. Here's Wistrom, number 98, from the bottom of your screen, and then from the top of your screen, here comes his buddy from the other side, Tomich. Give Druckenmiller some credit. Rather than taking the big sack, he gets rid of the football, keeps the field position in their favor.
Jimmy Kibble to punt. He's a redshirt freshman from Manassas, Virginia. Mike Pullman standing back at the 10. Very high punt. Pullman banged down immediately. Outstanding coverage by the Virginia Tech Hokies, and it was Jamel Smith who put the pop on Pullman with help from Steve Tate.
Well, on that last pass and run by Oxendine, watch what happens. Number 76 from the left of your screen pulls off the helmet right there of defensive tackle Jason Peter. The helmet comes off. Watch the hustle play. Peter gets up. The helmet's on the ground. Look at him run. There's the top of your screen now. He's fighting off a block from the left side of your screen. Look at the helmet. It's not there. He's still chasing, still chasing, still chasing. Now watch him jump on the pile at the end. How much do you like that hustle, huh? I've never seen a football play like that.
Jason Peter changed numbers this year to his brother Christian Peter's 55. Christian Peter is starting defensive tackle the last 2 years in Nebraska. On 1st down, the handoff to Damon Benning, and he gets very little. 2 yards before he ran into Myron Newsom and Cornell Brown.
8 men in the box. Myron Newsom, one of their inside linebackers, number 55, fights it off, makes the initial hit, and gets some help from Cornell Brown. One of the key guys in this game today is going to be Myron Newsom. He's only 5'10", 218 pounds, but he's one of those Sam Mills types of players. He just happens to be there every time the ball is snapped.
He's 5'10", Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, said if he was 6'2" or 6'3", he'd be a first-round draft pick in the NFL. Frost on the roll, drop pass. So we're seeing drop balls on both sides now.
That was almost the identical play where on the previous series, Virginia Tech, Scales drops the ball. Wide open on the post corner route is Chevin Wiggins. Got to catch the football in big games. You can't drop the ball like that.
Wiggins playing for John Vedral, who is one of the Nebraska players who's been suspended. Vedral, the starting wingback, arrested on a charge of drunk driving between the Big 12 championship game and the Orange Bowl, and he did not make the trip. So Wiggins plays for him. Vedral is also the holder on kicks. Screen, and Wiggins bounces off a couple of hits and has the first down. Hokies had a chance to stop him well short of first down yardage, but he bounced off a couple of pops and was finally tackled downfield.
That's exactly right. Wiggins catches the ball well short of first down, but poor tackling right there is a miss by Newsome. A bad tackle attempt right there, and at the end, Lauren Johnson jumps on top. Poor tackling, but a very good run by Wiggins.
He'll alternate at wingback with Lance Brown, where's number 14. The pitch to Benning, and he's in trouble. Banged down by John Engelberger. Loss on the play from the 30 back to the 29-yard line. Engelberger's a redshirt freshman, walked on as a tight end. Weighed about 210 pounds. He's bulked up to 245, and now he's a defensive end.
I was at practice on Friday, the second day they got here, and they had this very aggressive, what they call middle drill, center guard tackle in the back, full live. He broke his nose. Trainer came over, popped it back in place, stuck a couple tubes up there, put a Band-Aid on, and said, "What are you waiting for? Get back in."
And he did. On second down, long pass. Wiggins drops another. Well, that's two dropped by Wiggins, who only had 3 receptions for the year coming in. And the man he's replacing, Vedral, was a 20 reception player during the regular season and Big 12 championship.
It's a triple streak against 2 deep coverage. Johnson's late getting over, makes a good hit, but no excuse. Chevin Wiggins, you got to catch the football. There's Johnson falling off late. The ball's dropped before he gets there, but he does make a good hit.
And the big surprise to this point, Mike, both teams coming out throwing. They're both known as running teams. Nebraska's thrown 6 passes and has only run 5 rushing plays.
I think they're just trying to get the defense to back off a little bit.
Frost appears to be setting up a screen. It is deflected, and it falls incomplete. Cornell Brown deflected it and then almost caught it for an interception on the ricochet.
That is an athletic play by an All-American defensive end, number 58, Cornell Brown. Bottom of your screen, fights off the block, gets the left hand up, makes a diving attempt, almost makes the interception.
Still no score midway through the first quarter. Sean Scales waiting for the punt. First punt by Cush went 45 yards into the end zone for a touchback. Cush is averaging 44.7 for the year. He nearly got that one blocked. Deion Carpenter almost blocked it. He's blocked 3 this year. Wow. And the ball bounced out of bounds after traveling 43 yards to the 28-yard line. Back at the Orange Bowl, no score midway through the first quarter. Sean McDonough with Mike Mayock. And Mike, it was interesting as we chatted with the coaches this week. Frank Beamer of Virginia Tech talking about how he'd like his program to be like Nebraska. He said they're probably the most respected football program in the country with tremendous success, and he says Tom Osborne is probably the most respected coach among his peers in the profession.
Yeah, I think the delineation there would be that he wants his football program to be as successful on the field as Nebraska is, yet he doesn't want some of the off-field problems that they've both experienced in the last couple of years.
And the Virginia Tech people are very honest about it. Dave Brain, the athletic director, says we're embarrassed by what's happened off the field. We don't have the answer for it, but they are trying to put measures in place to prevent problems from happening off the field. Really, the number of arrests that they've had over the last 13 months is a disgraceful off-the-field record. On first down, Oxendine. It's about 8 as he crossed the 35 and went down to the 36. Jamel Williams and Mike Minter combined on the stop on Oxendine, the junior from Chester, Virginia.
And this is Virginia Tech football right here. They'd rather come right at you, isolation play, good cut in the hole by Oxendine, who's an underrated back but gained almost 900 yards this year. Good job up front, left side of the line, Todd Washington and Jay Haygood clearing the hole for Oxendine.
And they call Ox. He described himself to us the other day as the total package with his bursts of speed. He's a power runner. And he picks up a first down. Out to the 40 for a gain of 4. Near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a genuine Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has contributed almost $6 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. First down, Virginia Tech. Jim Druckenmiller, senior from Northampton, Pennsylvania. Some scouts have him rated as the top senior quarterback in the nation. Oxendine expected from these two teams running the football. I think you're right. At the beginning, they're just trying to loosen up the defense with those passes.
Yeah, both defenses are extremely aggressive, and I think they're trying to get those linebackers and safeties to think pass first, give them a little room to run. But it's interesting. I watched a lot of tape of this Nebraska defense. I felt like you do better running right at these guys because they're so fast. They can go sideline to sideline. I think you're better off lining up and taking your best shot, helmet on helmet.
Second down and 7. And out of the shotgun. Druckenmiller's pass deflected, still caught for a first down in the Nebraska territory. Brian Jennings, the tight end, with the catch. John Hess wrestled him down. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but Jennings was still able to hang on.
Now in that last game against Texas, their tight end had 3 big catches early in the game across the middle. Here's exactly what you see Virginia Tech doing, letting their real good tight end Brian Jennings work the middle of the field. Despite the deflection, makes the catch on Jamel Williams. That's a good, solid play.
No score. 5:15 remaining in the first quarter. From the Nebraska 48. Druckenmiller got away from Tomic. Now runs. And to Williger. Collared him just shy of the 40-yard line.
They were trying to take a deep shot here, play action, trying to get the safety to bite again and look for the post, but he had to step up into the pocket. And once again, look at Druckenmiller. He's not going to run a 4.5 40, folks, but he still can pick up 7 or 8 yards because he's got that innate football sense that coaches really dream about.
Credit him with 8 yards on the run. He rushed for 205 yards during the regular season. Now he's running the option. The pitch to Oxendine. Druckenmiller tried to throw a block and helped the cause slightly. Jamel Williams and Mike Minter finally made the tackle on Oxendine at the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 20 and another first down for Virginia Tech.
And Virginia Tech's offensive coordinator, Ricky Bussell, told me they were going to run this option early. Here it is, short yardage. Everybody tackles fullback. You don't expect Druckenmiller. Great job dishing the football. And then he tries to make a block in front of Oxendine.
And they have done a great job of mixing up the play calls. There's Ricky Bussell right in the middle of your picture, the offensive coordinator. Virginia Tech scored at least 20 points in every game in the regular season. First time in school history that's happened. Oxendine hit right at the line of scrimmage by Minter, the safety who was up close to the line of scrimmage. And Oxendine got just inside the 20 for a gain of 1.
You know, one of the more impressive offensive coordinators in the country is Ricky Bussell. They're 29-6 with him as an offensive coordinator. They average over 30 points a game, 411 yards a game. And Sean, he left for a year to go to South Carolina and missed working with Frank Beamer and this program and came back. He's really a success story around the country.
Said his family missed living in Blacksburg a great deal. Second down and 9. They don't even rush Druckenmiller. It's a screen for Marcus Parker. Nice move. Marcus Parker scores. Ryan Terwilliger injured on the play for Nebraska along the near sideline. The Hokies are first on the board in the Orange Bowl.
Little double screen out of shotgun. Fake it to the front side Oxidine. Then you come back weak side to your fullback, just like we diagrammed before the game. Great move by Parker. Makes one man miss, and then it's down the sidelines for a touchdown. Sean, right at the top of the show, what do you do to slow down a great aggressive defense? You throw the screen package. Got to give Marcus Parker some credit. That was a heck of a run.
Just his 8th reception of the season. It goes for 19 yards. His longest reception of the year. He got the start at fullback tonight in the absence of the suspended Brian Edmonds. And Terwilliger is being helped off the field, favoring his right leg.
Now let's be cognizant of what that does to the weak outside linebacker position for Nebraska. They already lost their All-American Farley. Now they lost his replacement, Terwilliger. That leaves them with a converted safety, McFarland, and a sophomore named Eric Johnson.
Shane Graham struggling physically with back and leg problems, but no problem on that extra point. There was some question about whether or not Graham, the freshman, would be able to kick tonight. The Hokies a big underdog, but leading by a touchdown early in Miami.
This FedEx Orange Bowl flashback is sponsored by Nicorette Gum. You can do it. Nicorette can help.
Nebraska head coach Tom Osborne's Orange Bowl experiences have been bittersweet. In 1984, the Cornhuskers lost by a point to Miami when they had a failed 2-point attempt in the final minute. 10 years later, it was the battle of number 1 and number 2. Nebraska and Florida State met in a classic. Scott Bentley's field goal with 22 seconds remaining clinched the national championship for FSU. The following season, Nebraska was back and once again vying for the national championship. Corey Schlesinger's 2 touchdowns helped Tom Osborne to his first national title.
Well, we talked about it in the pregame show. We said screen passes slow down an aggressive defense. Druckenmiller rolls one way, comes back to his fullback, in this case Marcus Parker. He's got the big offensive line in front. Now what they did in the game was a slight variation off that. Instead of faking it, all they do is they've got a great block in here. They're going to fake the swing pass over here and come back to their fullback with the guard and tackle pulling out in front. Druckenmiller gets the snap, drops back, fakes it to Oxendine up top. Here comes the weak side pass to Parker. The center, guard, Conatee, and Washington are out in front. Parker makes one guy miss, and bang, it's 7-0 Virginia Tech.
They were a 17-point underdog in this game, the biggest underdog of any major bowl game this year. Kibble's kickoff sends Cheatham back to the 1-yard line. Kenny Cheatham trying to run to some open field wide and didn't get there. Michael Stewie with a nice open field tackle at the 21-yard line. CBS Sports Big Time Bowl coverage continues tomorrow. First at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, it's the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic. Number 14 Kansas State taking on number 5 BYU. And later at 8 Eastern time, Big 12 champion and number 20 Texas collides with Joe Paterno's 7th-ranked Penn State Nittany Lions in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. That's all tomorrow on CBS Sports. The fullback Joel Makovica, who alternates with Brian Schuster. Straight ahead out near the 25-yard line. And they're still tending to Ryan Terwilliger, the weak side linebacker who was injured on the touchdown. He's a senior from Grant, Nebraska, playing in his final game for the Cornhuskers. Part of a outstanding senior class that's gone 46-3 during their careers at Nebraska. 2 national championships. 24 seniors playing their final game for the Huskers tonight. Jay Sims in at I-back now, and he's down shy of the 30. We'll give him forward progress to the 28-yard line. It'll be 3rd down.
Interesting. You're at the end of the night, you're not going to see a 50-50 ratio there unless Nebraska is losing the football game late in the game. But right now, they're running their option package. They have 4 different options. That's the one play that Virginia Tech has got to stop tonight if they want to win the football game.
Makovica and Sims in the eye. We still have not seen Amon Green or D'Angelo Evans. their top two rushers, both bothered by injury. Sims applies a stiff arm and a face mask against Lauren Johnson, it appeared, at the end of the play. Looked like Sims had enough for the first down on the run, and they will likely add to the play on the face mask by Lauren Johnson, who grew up a half mile from this stadium. Used to walk over here and watch games from his home in Miramar, Florida, right around the corner.
Now, we talked about option. Number 45, Makovica, first takes the fake, and then he gets a block downfield, and there, clearly, the face mask. Sims with the football. Tackle from the inside out by Johnson, has a big hold of it. The question is, it looks like it's the 15-yard variety and not the 5.
And the penalty gives Nebraska first down at the 47-yard line. Frost has some running room, is going deep into traffic, and it's nearly picked. He was looking for Kenny Cheatham. Let's check in down to the sidelines with David Logan.
Okay, thank you, Sean. I want to get you caught up on the injury to Ryan Terwilliger. It's not as bad as it first seemed to be. He has a strained back muscle and right hamstring. His return, however, is questionable. Sean?
Thank you, David. That means Octavius McFarland would likely see most of the action there, a junior who plays a lot on pass downs. He'd be the third player at that position with the absence of Farley. Sims, good gain on 2nd and 10. He got 8 to the 45-yard line, tackled by Torian Gray. Sims is a junior from Omaha, rushed for 288 yards coming in. That was the 5th highest total on the team, an impressive average of 7 yards per carry. He's the oldest member of the team, turned 25 in November. Spent a couple of years working before he walked on at Nebraska. 3rd down and 2. The pitch to Sims. Here's a first down inside the 40. Down to the 38-yard line. 7 yards on the rush for Sims.
It's a key play. One back offense, speed option. He's going to go down, option the end, who's coming hard off the corner, but not a good job by the corner, Lauren Johnson, getting off the block. They turn it up the field for a first down. Key 3rd down. There's the hit on the quarterback. The block on Lauren Johnson forces the safety man, Torian Gray, to come up and make the tackle.
Frost throws, man wide open. Lance Brown has it inside the 20 and falls down at the 15-yard line. Well, Chevin Wiggins, who started at wingback, had trouble hanging on. His replacement, Brown, had no such difficulty. And the Huskers are driving. At the 15, they trail 7-0 with 31 seconds left in the first quarter.
That's known as a wheel route. The inside receiver, number 14, Lance Brown, goes out and then up. The outside receiver runs a post pattern, clearing the corner out of the way. If Brown can keep his feet, he'd probably be dancing in the end zone. And Makovica, and he's tripped up by Engelberger. That was an interesting choice of words because Lance Brown's father choreographs Broadway plays. His mother and sister both have dance studios, and Lance was known to be a little exuberant on the field, dancing from time to time, and the Husker coaches asked him to tone it down a little bit. And you think that was a coincidence that I picked that particular word? It was an open for you, pal.
We appreciate the assist. At the end of the first quarter, the score, Virginia Tech 7 and Nebraska nothing. CBS Sports coverage of the FedEx Orange Bowl will continue after this message and a word from your local station. End of the first quarter, Virginia Tech leads Nebraska 7-0. Sean McDonough with Mike Mayock. We had a surprising start to this game, Mike, as both teams came out throwing. They almost seemed to surprise themselves the way they were dropping footballs on both sides, but now the game is taking the shape we expected.
Yeah, I think both offensive coordinators wanted to take some pressure off their quarterbacks early by trying to establish them in the pass game. But now I think what you're going to see is both teams going back to doing what they do best. And indeed, on this drive, in 8 plays, there have been 6 runs by Nebraska. 5 of them have been the option play, and that's what they do best, and that's what you're going to have to see Virginia Tech attacking defensively.
9th play of the drive upcoming for Nebraska. They started at their own 21. They're down 7-0. Marcus Parker on a screen pass went 19 yards for the touchdown. Frost, the fake and kick. And now down behind the play is Brian Schuster. Some trickery and results in a loss.
That's it. I saw them practice this the other day. It's kind of a combination Statue of Liberty, and it's a wraparound draw. You're going to see number 31 and number 28, the fullback, establish himself there. There's the wraparound, the 28. He gets nailed right away, and I don't think it was because Virginia Tech knew what was going on. There just happened to be a defender standing right there with Schuster.
3rd down and 11 now. On the draw, Sims tripped up short of the first down. The ball popped out, but the whistles have stopped the play. The ground caused the fumble, say the officials. Brandon Simonis tripped up Sims. He had a burst of speed, and even though he's the 4th string I-back, he goes at 4.4 in the 40.
Good call down in the red zone. Spread the field with 4 wides and run a little option. Hits the ground first. It certainly looks like it was a good call. The ball's still in his hands until he hits the ground. The ground cannot cause a fumble. Clean call right there.
And a field goal try upcoming for the Huskers. Chris Brown will try a 25-yarder. He's 12 of 19 for the year. 6 of 6 from between 20 and 29 yards. Matt Turman is a new holder, and the kick is just good. Looked like it was going to miss to the right, and it just did hook back in. Tom Osborne has had to sweat out more than one field goal in the Orange Bowl games over the years. Huskers on the board at 7-3. And a warm welcome to the Blockbuster Blimp and its crew. Piloting the Blockbuster Blimp is Captain Steve Tomlin from London, England.
London, England?
Yes.
What's he doing over here?
I don't know. I wonder if that means his seat is on the other side of the cabin up there.
You've got to be careful which side of the highway up there he's driving
That's
on.
right. Chris Brown kicks off. Good kick. Scales watches it bounce out of the end zone, and Virginia Tech will begin at the 20. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl tomorrow night on same time. Penn State and Texas, the matchup, and that appears to be a very even matchup heading in. Joe Paterno just turned 70, says he still wants to coach 5 or 6 more years.
Hey, he's an interesting guy. I've had an opportunity to spend some time with him, being a Pennsylvania kid who he ultimately decided not to offer a scholarship to many years ago.
There's a reason he has that record, Mike.
It's called lack of speed.
Jim Druckenmiller calling signals and movement along the line. They ran into Brian Jennings, the tight end. He's trying to argue that he did not move. Dick Honig leading the Big Ten officiating crew.
Dead ball, offsides, on the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
Druckenmiller gave him the hard count there. Good job by the Virginia Tech offensive line remaining stationary.
Well, you'd expect the center to know what to do in that situation by now. Tonight, Billy Conity makes his 48th straight start. He started every game since he came to Virginia Tech. 48 consecutive starts, a Virginia Tech record. He was tied with his former teammate, offensive lineman Chris Malone, who had started 47 in a row. Conity, a senior from Pennsauken, New Jersey, has had a great career at Tech at center. First team All Big East this year. Oxendine upended. Or check it, it's Chiron Stiff who came into the game for Oxendine. He's a true freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia.
Yeah, he had to start early in the season when they had some injuries and off the field trouble. Did a great job, gained over 100 yards in his first start. A little quicker, built low to the ground. You talk to the coaches, they say he's one of those 100%ers. Always gives his best regardless of the situation, practice, game, or meeting.
He hasn't played much since the early season when Oxendine was injured. Once Oxendine and Edmonds Parker were healthy, Stiff spent most of his time on the sideline. Virginia Tech picks up the first down as Marcus Parker bowls out across the 30. And he was tackled by Jamel Williams. And Octavius McFarland, who's in for the injured Ryan Terwilliger. There's McFarland, the junior, ordinarily plays in 4 wide situations, obvious passing situation.
Yeah, he's a young man who they've switched permanently now to that position. He will probably try to bulk up a little bit and be their starting outside linebacker next year.
Virginia Tech leads 7-3 early in the second quarter.
Interesting game going on between the Nebraska defensive backs and Druckenmiller. He's checked off 3 in a row.
And they snap it with 1 second on the clock, and Scales couldn't come up with a low pass. This is a battle of 2 top 10 teams. The AP top 10 Florida State is number 1. The issue to be decided within the next couple of days. Nebraska number 6 after the loss to Texas in the Big 12 championship game in St. Louis, while Tech is number 10 in the AP poll. The Hokies number 9 in the coaches poll, and that is their highest ranking ever.
They tend to lose some votes among the Big Ten voters in the AP poll because there's a preponderance of those as compared to Big East people.
Druckenmiller dumps it off. Great job to get it to Marcus Parker, and they actually turned it into a gain of about a yard. Mike Rucker had a hold of Druckenmiller. Druckenmiller's a big, strong guy, a record-setting weightlifter, and he uses that strength time and again.
You know what? People say, how could you say a 1-yard gain is a great play? Watch what happens here. He ought to be sacked right there for about a 7-yard loss, but he has the capability, the strength to stay up, get the ball, deliver it. 2nd and 9 instead of 2nd and 16.
Druckenmiller bench presses 350 pounds, back squats 500 pounds, and has the record in hang clean at 405. That's better than most of the linemen. Michael Stewie with the catch. And he is very close to a first down. Appears to have it beyond the 41-yard line. Mike Fullman had the coverage.
This is kind of a showcase so far for Druckenmiller. Stewie does a great job running off the backup corner. Mike Fullman comes back to the football. Look at it right there on his shoulder pads. That's NFL arm strength right there.
Well, perhaps divided loyalties tonight in the Stewie household. His father, Dennis, played at Nebraska. Was a halfback in the 60s. Michael Stewie says he grew up following Nebraska. He came down and watched Nebraska play in the Orange Bowl when he was a young boy. Well, there's a lot of old team photos of the Huskers in their house. His dad says he's a Hokie all the way tonight. Oxendine. Loss on the play. Back to the 40-yard line, Chad Kelsey, who backs up Jared Thomas at the left rush end position, made the tackle.
Kelsey made the tackle, but Eric Warfield, number 3, makes the play. You'll see him flash from the right side of your screen on the screen. Right there, he makes the play, not the tackle, but he forces him back into Kelsey. That's a great reaction on screen from the backup safety, Eric Warfield.
Expected between 55 and 60,000 here tonight at Pro Players Stadium that seats about 75,000. I'm not sure they accomplished that goal in attendance in their first year in the new ballpark. Druckenmiller going long for Stewie. That's too long. It'll be 3rd down and long. Michael Booker had the coverage on Stewie. In the courtroom or on the killing fields, the nation's best defense is a pair of criminal prosecutors. David James Elliott as Commander Harmon Rabb. Don't miss the series premiere of JAG, CBS, Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. 3rd down and 11 facing Druckenmiller.
Got 4 wides in the game, including Marcus Gildersleeve, a converted tailback.
He's playing because James Crawford was suspended in the same off-the-field episode that involved the fullback Brian Edmonds. A blitz from McFarland, and they get to Druckenmiller. 2nd sack of the night for the Huskers. Jason Peter with a bull rush up the middle, and McFarland blitzing off the corner, combining on the sack.
From the left side of your screen, you're going to see number 4, McFarland. From the bottom of your screen, number 55 on a little loop right there is Jason Peter. They meet and have a party in the backfield. From Druckenmiller's angle, he's got no chance here. From the top, right side, there comes McFarland. From the bottom, Peter. Jailbreak.
And as they usually do, the Huskers drop 3 men back to receive the punt. The low wobbly kick from Jimmy Kibble. This right to be run back by Fullman. Mike Fullman with an excellent return. Brought down at the Tech 45-yard line by Michael Hoggs. It was a poor punt, low and only 39 yards. And it was returned 26 by Mike Pullman, the senior from Roselle, New Jersey. Huskers will have excellent field position, trailing by 4 points after this. We talked earlier about Virginia Tech's continuing struggle for respect nationally. They've won 20 of their last 21, including 7 victories over ranked teams. They've won their last 7 games against ranked opponents. Their only loss this season was against Syracuse. At the time, the Orangemen were not ranked.
Kind of interesting, those last 4 games there were the last 4 of their season. So in a 27-day period, they played 4 ranked teams and handled them all pretty easily.
Grant Wistrom, see a Band-Aid over his right eye. That's to cover up a pierced on the trip here to Miami. We asked him why. We still really haven't figured it out. Amon Green, his first carry. And it's a dandy inside the 30 to the 29, tripped up by Lauren Johnson. But it's a gain of 16 for Green, who sat out the last 2 games against Colorado and Texas with a stress fracture of his left foot.
That's the spark they need. Watch and let's see off that foot whether he makes the cut. That's an excellent cut to the outside. Looks like he's accelerating extremely well. I watched him in practice on Saturday and Sunday, and I felt like the acceleration was good. Their biggest concern, I think, is conditioning and whether or not he can cut.
Quick throw by Frost, has a man. It's caught by Kenny Cheatham. At the 5-yard line, he goes out of bounds. Johnson had the coverage. First and goal, Nebraska. They look for a go-ahead touchdown.
See, but that's what the option game does for you. They've run the option 8 to 10 times already. You come down the line, fake it to the fullback, and your split end runs a go route. Kenny Cheatham beats Johnson easily, and that's got to be a situation where Johnson plays run second and pass first. Great pass, great catch by Cheatham.
He had only 7 receptions coming in. First and goal at the 5. Virginia Tech leads 7 to 3. The option. Frost keeps it and scores.
Good block by their fullback, Makovica, who after he faked option came down and made a great block on the linebacker to enable Frost to get in the end zone.
I don't see a flag on the field, but the officials are having a conversation.
After the touchdown, dead ball, personal foul on the defense, will be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown.
Reverse out, fakes it to the fullback right there, Schuster, who's going to then seal off from the inside, wide open for Frost.
Chris Brown for the extra point. And Nebraska leads for the first time tonight. It's 10-7 Cornhuskers with 9:14 left in the half. As we look at the Kellogg's game summary, we see both teams mixing up the pass and the run. The stats fairly even, and the game fairly even as well. Nebraska with its first lead, 10-7, after the 5-yard touchdown run by the quarterback Scott Frost.
Key is the block here. Fullback comes out, takes the fake, gets the block right in here, and then the guard comes out and gets the seal on the corner, and Frost can dance into the end zone. Number 67, Taylor, with the seal. Good block up right there on Torian Gray. Touchdown.
Because of the personal foul penalty on the touchdown, Brown kicks off from the 50. Looked like he was trying to entice Scales for an unwise decision to run it out of the back of the end zone, because we saw him boom one out of the back of the end zone, kicking without the advantage from the penalty on the last kickoff. But Scales wasn't going for it. He let it bounce to the back of the end zone.
Made the right decision. Now, I'll tell you what Virginia Tech has to do a better job of right now. They've got to take better advantage of first down plays. Right now, they're only averaging 2.4 yards per play on first down. Consequently, they're being left in a lot of 3rd and long situations. So they've got to do a much better job on first down.
Backup defensive lineman in the game now for Nebraska. And Ken Ock Oxendine rips through that new unit and is close to a first down. Looks to be inches shy near the 30. Mike Minter and Jay Foreman combined on the tackle.
Once again going right at Nebraska. Good job by the interior line of Virginia Tech. Conatee, Washington, and DiNapoli. In behind gets Oxendine. That's what I like about him. He's a little bit of a slasher. He's not afraid to get his head down, pick up the extra yards.
Second and a short one. Oxendine now with 42 yards rushing on 6 carries. He was the second leading rusher in the Big East this year behind Omari Walker, Boston College. Marcus Parker with the first down and much more. Out to the 36-yard line. He's a junior from Roanoke.
We talked about how Parker gives you an added dimension. You get the pull by number 75, Todd Washington, out in front. Little inside handoff out of the gun. And this guy, Parker, runs a 4.5 40 at 220. So even though they're losing a little bit on the blocking side of fullback, they pick it up because he's a better runner.
He missed the first 4 games of the season for a violation of team rules. He doesn't have much more yardage than the 467 he had coming into this one. Oxendine on first down crosses the 40. They'll spot the ball right back on the 40-yard line. A gain of 4. Eric Warfield made the tackle. Oxendine, we talk about Virginia Tech looking for respect. He said the reason he chose Tech was because he wanted to be a part of building a tradition. But he also told us, even though he grew up in the state of Virginia, he had never heard of Virginia Tech until he was in high school.
Kind of amazing how far that program has come in 4 years. They've got 37 wins in the last 4 years. Only 6 teams in the country are better.
Second down and 6. Nice move by Oxendine, and he slipped on that paint again. That is a very slick area of the field. They had the CarQuest Bowl here on Friday night, and their logos were painted on the field. Then they had to change over the painted areas for the FedEx Orange Bowl logos and the 2 team names in the end zones. And this field has a lot of slick paint in spots.
Watch the cut he makes, though, to make Mike Minter miss right there. That's a big-time cut, folks. And there it is, the slide on the black paint. Still keeps his feet fighting for yardage.
Spot him down to the 49-yard line of Virginia Tech and a first down. Nebraska leads 10-7 second quarter. Oxendine crossed midfield. Jay Foreman made the tackle with help from Jamel Williams. Saturday in prime time, CBS Sports puts on an icy hot special, Too Hot to Skate, from an outdoor rink in Las Vegas. You'll see Scott Hamilton, Katarina Witt, Oksana Bayul, and more. They show off in a whole new way. Too Hot to Skate, Saturday in prime time on CBS Sports. The handoff to Marcus Parker, and he's thrown for a loss. Jeff Ogard, the defensive tackle, had help from Octavius McFarland. Ogard's the quiet member of that defensive front. He's a senior, wears number 97. Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator, said in 5 years in the program, I think he said a total of maybe 500 words to me. He's averaged about 100 words per year.
And he really likes this young man. Interesting, he's at 6'6", 310 pounds. He's really the guy that holds up the middle of that Nebraska line against run.
He's from St. Paul, Nebraska. Third down and 6. Druckenmiller runs, and he has the first down at the 40 of Nebraska. Eric Stokes tried to drag him down from behind, and that's a tough task with the muscular Druckenmiller.
Now, if people had concerns about Druckenmiller's mobility, he's trying to throw the ball underneath the number 22 scales. It's not there. He tucks it, goes, gets what he can. Look how strong he is. You know, that's just a great job. 6'5", 237. He's 20-3 as a starter. I happen to think this young man's best games are ahead of him in the NFL.
He was the Big East co-offensive player of the year with Syracuse quarterback Donovan McNabb. 7th play of the drive. Huskers up around the line of scrimmage, and as a result, they stuffed the run. It was Ken Oxendine, the ball carrier, and Octavius McFarland made the tackle, and he's very active since coming in for the injured Ryan Terwilliger.
And he really has. He's a better athlete than Terwilliger. Terwilliger stands up against the run well, but he certainly can't run like McFarland, who probably isn't used to A, to the heat, and B, to getting this much action, because he's tired.
He wants to come out. You can see him gesturing to the sideline.
He's got to get some new shades. Darth Vader there.
His replacement would likely be Eric Johnson. Play action fake. There's McFarland again. And Druckenmiller dumped it off for Oxendine. This time they're going to call it a sack. Back at the 50-yard line. Well, if he was tired, he wasn't tired enough to come on the blitz and get the sack.
I'm not sure how you call that a sack. There's no such thing as in the grasp. Look at him. He's not even touched. Great athlete. Now let's see what Druckenmiller does. Why is that a sack? The NFL has in the grasp. College football doesn't. I don't get it.
And Frank Beamer has the same question.
That's a bad call.
Forward progress, said the official on the sideline.
He's still fighting. He is still fighting.
That's
you
right.
Can't call it at that point. Guy's 237 pounds. He's got a 190-pound D-back on him. You can't call that dead.
3rd and 20. Huskers showing blitz. Druckenmiller, flag thrown in the area in which you'd expect a holding call. Ball thrown and caught for a first down at the play stands. Ken Oxendine the reception. There's a flag back at the 44-yard line.
It's probably going to be a holding call, which will bring it back. Yep.
And our crack spotter, Chris Helen, thought he detected Billy Conatee bringing down Mike Rucker. It was the center apparently guilty of holding.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I watched a very tough quarterback on television last night named Detmer do a great job. I am just as impressed.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat 3rd down.
I am so impressed with Jim Druckenmiller today. 61, Billy Conatee's in the middle of your screen. Rucker comes through, and there it is, the takedown. Good job on the recognition by our spotter, Chris Helen. The dish late. Look at the fight, though, by Oxendine. You got to give Tech a ton of credit. They're really doing a nice job. And how about Jim Druckenmiller?
He's been under siege. Well, how do you play it now if you're Frank Beamer? 3rd down and a mile.
It's a quick kick right here, right?
3rd and 37. That might be an option. They might just resort to a running play now as they shift into the eye. And ball lost and picked up by Jason Peter. Touchdown, Nebraska. Mike Rucker knocked it loose and Peter ran it in. And rather than just run into the line and punt, they went to a slightly riskier play. The option is not a big play for them, and it hurts them.
You know what? It's not that it's a riskier play, but it's that for the first time today, Druckenmiller made a very poor decision. Under pressure like that, you can never throw the football away. There's the fake. Now he's got people all over him right now, and the ball is knocked down by Rucker, picked up by Peter. Hey, folks, that's a defensive tackle, 6'5", 285. That's an athlete right there.
And the Huskers lead 16-7. Jason Peter, the junior from Locust, New Jersey. Chris Brown adds the extra point. 17 unanswered points by Nebraska. Jason Peters' 31-yard return to the fumble has given Nebraska a 10-point lead in a big play early in the game.
Yeah, you can't let Nebraska separate like that. It's so hard to catch up to them with their great defense.
Chris Brown's kick bounces into the end zone, and another touchback.
Now, Mike Rucker is the backup defensive end to Grant Wistrom. Watch him make contact with the tackle, fight through pressure, and at the mesh point, right there when they try and pitch it, he knocks it down, and a very athletic play by their defensive tackle, Jason Peter. That's a touchdown.
And this is the 4th time that Virginia Tech has started a possession at its own 20. Chris Brown's been a great weapon with his kickoffs into the end zone. Tech back to its strength, but Oxendine gets nothing on the run. Mike Minter flying up from his rover position. He was first team all Big 12 on the squad picked by the media this year.
This is a key series for Virginia Tech right here. You give up the big play. Now you're down 10. late in the second quarter. They cannot afford any more separation. They've got to get a drive going, and worst case scenario, regain some field position.
Clock ticking down to 3 minutes left in the half. 2nd and 10. Play action fake. Druckenmiller under pressure. Jennings, the tight end. First down. Hokies out to the 40-yard line. 19 yards on the pass play to Brian Jennings, the senior from Forest, Virginia, had a big game in the Sugar Bowl last year against Texas with 6 catches.
I really believe Jennings can work the middle of the field here against Nebraska and pick up significant yardage. The Texas tight end Fitzgerald did the same thing. This guy is a talented young man. He's ranked number 2 in the country by Sporting News as far as draft eligible tight ends. I believe they can get him the football.
1st and 10. Each team with 3 timeouts remaining. Nice move by Oxendine. Oxendine in the clear. Eric Stokes able to run him down at the 21-yard line. Big play for the Hokies when they really needed one.
Yeah, all great backs have an ability to cut back, and Oxendine did a super job in the hole, breaking the counter back weak side. Nebraska is very strong at the point of attack, but watch the cutback. Sees something innately, cuts back, makes 2 people miss right in the hole, and then it's just a foot race. Oxendine's got good speed, but Eric Stokes has great speed. Couple of big plays, though, Sean, for Virginia Tech, right back in it.
That's a 39-yard gain. Oxendine up to 99 yards rushing on 12 carries. Movement. They snap the ball to Druckenmiller. There are flags. Willie Conatee and Jim Druckenmiller, obviously over the years, attuned to snapping when they see encroachment by the defense.
Offsides on the defense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
Makes the situation a little bit easier for Virginia Tech now. 1st and 5 and 16-yard line in the red zone. You know, it's interesting, Sean, in the red zone, this Nebraska defense has only been there 16 times this entire season in 12 games.
Where opposing offenses get to this point on the field. And off to the fullback, Marcus Parker. He's down to 15. And we're down to 1:40 on the clock running remaining in the half.
And I'm not sure Octavius McFarland was trying to make the tack, but that was a good aggressive play by a guy that stepped up and played pretty well here in replacing Terwilliger.
A 1:20 left in the half. 17-7 Nebraska. They fell behind 7-0. They've scored 17 unanswered points. This is 2nd down and 4.
Wouldn't be surprised to see a corner route against man-to-man coverage.
Oxendine took the toss and showed his power to turn it into a gain. It looked like it was going to be a no-gainer on the play. Jamel Williams made the tackle on Oxendine. And a timeout called by the Hokies with a big 3rd down and short upcoming. Oxendine now over 100 yards. It's his 5th 100-yard game this season, at 4 during the regular season against Temple, Pitt, Southwestern Louisiana, and West Virginia. To join us late, here's what you missed. Virginia Tech scored first on a 19-yard pass on a screen play to Marcus Parker. It was the 2nd possession of the game for Tech. Chris Brown got the Huskers on the board with a 25-yard field goal, the first 3 of 17 consecutive points scored by Nebraska. Scott Frost gave the Huskers their first lead at 10-7 on a 5-yard run, capping a 45-yard drive. And then Jason Pater picked up a Jim Druckenmiller fumble and returned it 31 yards. The extra point made it 17-7. That's where we are with 57 seconds left in the half. But the Hokies have marched from their own 20 to the 13-yard line of Nebraska. Now they're looking at 3rd down and a short 2.
Huge play here for Virginia Tech. They've got to come away with points on the board. Obviously, they'd like to see 7 instead of 3.
Started into the shotgun and then shifted into the eye with 2 wide receivers to the right.
Tried to draw,
changing the play.
Tried to draw him first, now he's changing.
They snapped it with 5 on the play clock. Parker up the middle. It's going to be very close as first surge got him very close to the marker, and then he was bounced back, but it appears from the official on the far side of the field that they are going to give him that mark at the forward progress. Jeff Ogard and Jason Peter combining on the stop, and there will be a measurement. 50 seconds left in the half.
I think they got a pretty good mark there. Looks like the head of the ball probably got to the yard marker, and they're going to get the first down. If they don't, it'll be an interesting decision for Beamer here. You got to get points on the board. Do you take a chance? Now I don't have to tell you.
There's Ricky Bussell, the offensive coordinator.
They've got an awful lot of work to get from Bussell. The play to the sideline, waggled into Druckenmiller, and still give him time to change at the line of scrimmage. It's very convoluted.
1st and 10. They can pick up another first down just inside the 2-yard line. Now the shotgun now. Druckenmiller a pump, and then he threw to Cornelius White. And he tried to scramble for yardage. They're going to give him forward progress all the way up to the 6. So that's another pretty generous spot. Ralph Brown made the tackle. The clock's running. And now a timeout called by Virginia Tech with 25 seconds left. And the Hokies with 1 timeout remaining. They still trail 17-7.
And not a great pass by Druckenmiller there behind him, which forced them to reach back for it and gave the defensive back from Nebraska, Minner, time to recover.
Friends, Larry Hagman is returning. Or Larry Hergman is
retiring.
No, he's not. He's returning to CBS in a powerful new dramatic series, Orleans. Hagman is a judge who bends the rules but never breaks the law. Don't miss the 2-hour series premiere next Wednesday on CBS. Given the problems of these 2 programs, I'm not sure this will be the favorite new show for the Hokies and the Huskers.
Now let's talk a little bit about the situation here. It's 2nd down, goal to goal, 5-yard line, but more importantly, 1 timeout left and 25 seconds on the clock. Now Virginia Tech's wide receivers have only caught 2 passes so far today. So I think what you're going to see, number 1, what's the personnel in the game? If the tight end's in the game, you might see Brian Jennings involved here, because I don't think they can take the time to continue to burn the clock with running plays.
Ball spotted on the 6-yard line. 2nd and 5. 8th play of the drive.
It's a 4-wide out set. They'll probably do some kind of crossing or pick routes, anticipating man-to-man coverage.
Parker, the back, lined up to the left of Druckenmiller. Blitz. Druckenmiller into the end zone, into coverage, and caught! Ripped away by Scales. It looked like it was going to be intercepted by McFarland, and Scales took it away from him.
How did that happen? Poor decision by Druckenmiller. Ball should have never been thrown. Poor pass, and they end up with a touchdown. I guess Sean Scales atones for the previous 2 drop passes. Druckenmiller once again under heavy pressure. Nebraska little zone blitz right there. Gets hit from behind. McFarland sitting there waiting. But the more aggressive Scales makes the play.
You're right. He approached it to McFarland like he was fielding a punt rather than run at the ball and separate himself from Scales. He was in perfect position to make the pick and didn't.
Inexperience.
Scales the touchdown. And Tech back within 3.
And a great individual effort by number 22, Sean Scales, and we've got a 17-14 ball game. Look, he's bracketed both by 4 McFarland and 10 Minter. McFarland's got to elevate for the football. He just stood there and wait for it to come. Scales did a great job. He was more aggressive. He made the play, went and got the football. That's a huge swing right there in the football game.
And if you missed the feature story about Scales during our coverage at halftime of the Sun Bowl this afternoon, he is a great picture of perseverance. His father left his family when Sean was 2 years old. His mother was badly involved with drugs, as was an older brother. With the help of some teachers and coaches whom Sean moved in, he kept his life on track. 8th grade coach took him into his own home. And here Sean is playing in the Orange Bowl tonight. Kickoff return by Billy Legate. The touchdown pass to Scales, a 6-yarder, capping that 80-play drive. And now if Tom Osborne decides to, with this good field position after the squib kick, they can throw it down the field.
Squib kick was probably the right call, but it wasn't kicked hard enough. I mean, they've got field position and they've got timeouts remaining, so why not go for it? All they need 25 to 30 yards for realistic field goal opportunity.
Long time since the Nebraska offense has been on the field. Frost does air it out, and it's incomplete. 17 straight plays were run by the Virginia Tech offense. You might remember the fumble on which Nebraska scored defensively. And right back on the field came their defense.
Good job by the Rover that time. Pearson Prelo running underneath the seam route, forced Frost to throw it up high and throw it away.
Chris Kicker has a strong leg. He's made 2 from beyond 50 yards, so they wouldn't have to go all that far to get him into position. Down around the 33-yard line of Tech would do the job. Now they go back to the run. Amon Green. A short gain, and the team's content to let the half end. A very entertaining first half in the 63rd annual FedEx Orange Bowl.
Look at the look on Frank Beamer. Is that intensity or what?
I wonder if he's still upset with the officials. He certainly was earlier when it was ruled a sack on Druckenmiller as Jim dumped the pass off while being held by Nebraska defenders. Here's Dave Logan.
Okay, thanks, Sean. Coach Osborne, now you said your team would have to play with emotion in the beginning of this football game, or it would be a long evening. Are you happy with the level that they're playing with?
Yeah, I think we're playing hard. We're just playing a good football team, and it's going to be back and forth, and it's probably going to go down to the fourth quarter. And the big thing is going to be who's got the most left at that time, you know, who's in the best shape. And we've had a few injuries. They've had a few injuries, so it'll probably...
More than usual at Nebraska. Any reason for that, Coach?
Well, we're just doing what we think we have to do to move the ball, and we can throw it. We're very capable of it. We'll probably mix it up second half, too.
All right, Coach, have a good second half. Okay, Sean, back to you.
The end of the first half, the score: Nebraska 17, Virginia Tech 14. Pat O'Brien, Craig James, and Coach Lou Holtz will be along with College Football Today right after this message and a word from your local station.
They're the nation's best defense. They're known.
David Logan back with you at the Orange Bowl with the score: Nebraska 17, Virginia Tech 14. And joining me now is the star of Everyone Loves Raymond, Ray Romano. Ray, it is so good to see you here at the Orange Bowl. How you doing?
Great. Nice to be here. Very excited.
Now, in your show that's seen Friday nights at 8:30 p.m. on CBS, you play a sports writer. What'd you think of the first half?
You know, you're at a bowl game. All you want is a close game. That's all you can ask for. Although I'll tell you, I brought my wife. It's her first time ever at a football game. So I spent most of the first half explaining the rules of football. She doesn't watch. She's a full-time mother. We have 3 little kids. So I had to tell her things like, when a team has a timeout, that doesn't mean they have to sit in a chair in the corner, things like that. But she's loving it, and I'll tell you why she's really excited to be here. We have twin 4-year-old boys at home. It's actually quieter here than in our house. So she's loving it here.
Okay, now speaking of the twins, where are they right now?
They're in New York. My mother's babysitting. Can I say hi? Mom, hi. Happy New Year. We're at the Orange Bowl. This will give her a big thrill. It might upset her because we told her we were going out to get Chinese food. But we're here, Ma. It's 80 degrees. I want to mention the weather. Everyone loves the weather here, except I think that guy in the orange must be really annoyed that it's warmed up so much.
Well, I tell you, everybody loves Raymond. Congratulations on a great '96 season. You've done well.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I also want to say I'm amazed that there's 40 or 50,000 people here pretending not to recognize me. The restraint they have, I commend them.
All right. Thank you very much, Ray Romano. Let's go back upstairs. Sean.
Well, perhaps that will change shortly. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Everybody loves Raymond. Everybody had something they could love in that first half. There was a lot of action, and as we expected, despite the point spread, an evenly played game.
Yeah, I think you and I and most of the people that watched them practice this week expected a tight game. You've got 2 very similar teams, big, tough, physical. Nebraska's got a little bit of an edge on team speed, but I like what Tom Osborne said at the end of the first half. They're going to get it into the fourth quarter. Whoever makes the big play wins the game.
Look at the first half stats. Virginia Tech with a rather comfortable edge in total yardage and nearly a 2-to-1 advantage in time of possession.
And you know what, on the rushing yardage side, when we talked to defensive coordinator Bud Foster from Virginia Tech, His goal was 180 yards rushing. He wanted to hold them to 180, which is 112 below their average. They only have 81 yards in the first half, so the Tech defense is accomplishing what they want against the run game.
Ken Oxendine rushed for 101 yards in the first half. Virginia Tech receives the second half kickoff. Sean Scales took Chris Brown's kick at the 5. And excellent kick coverage by the Cornhuskers. Travis Toline, number 92, made the tackle. Joel Makovica covered him up. So an excellent job all night by Nebraska on the kickoffs. And once again, Virginia Tech has the long field ahead of it.
Okay, let's not forget special teams. We talked about that up at the top of the show. First half, about a 10-yard advantage on punts for Nebraska, but I still think somebody's going to block a punt or make a big play that could decide the football game.
Jim Druckenmiller, 9 of 14 in the first half, for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a big fumble. Oxendine running free again. Gets a block from Cornelius White. Gave the stiff arm to Mike Minter. Credit Minter with the tackle in Nebraska territory at the 45-yard line. A gain of 36 for Oxendine.
Carbon copy of the first half. He's going to come this way, cut it all the way back across the green, make people miss. This is what a great back does on this play. Front side cut back. Really good block by number 71, Jay Haygood. In the open field now, Mike Minter with 4.4 speed catches him from behind.
He's averaged more than 100 yards per game over the last 7 games of the regular season. Would have been a 1,000-yard rusher in the regular season had he not missed 2.5 games with an injured shoulder.
Time.
They just did get the play off. Druckenmiller throws to the flat. Scales grabbed by the shirt, and they'll give him forward progress to the 44. Another generous spot. Michael Booker made the shirt tackle. Call it a gain of 1. Scales actually wound up back by midfield.
Druckenmiller gets this play off as the clock hits 0. Little 5-step drop out in the flats. Late delivered just a little bit, but Booker, who was probably a first-round draft pick, does a nice job making sure of the tackle. And Sean, the reason they like him, he's a corner that's 6'1.5", 205 pounds. The NFL loves those big physical guys on the corner that can also run.
Booker's been bothered by tendonitis in his knees. It's limited his practice time. Oxendine replaced for a moment by Chiron Stiff, who took the ball to the 43, a gain of 1 more, and another injury. It's Booker, who just made the tackle on Scales a moment ago.
One of the national scouting combines had Booker as the number 7 senior in the country. Not at his position in the entire country. They're checking his right knee.
Playing in his last game in Nebraska, he was the defensive MVP of the Fiesta Bowl as the Huskers won the national championship for Coach Osborne.
Bottom left of your screen. The end of the play, he gets cut right there, probably unnecessarily, by Cornelius White in the open field. And I would hate to see any kind of serious injury on a play away from the ball like that to a young man that's had a great career and has a super future ahead of him. You know, Sean, it's kind of like that Marty Schottenheimer controversy earlier in the NFL. Is it a legal play? Yes, it is. But is it a necessary play within the context of sportsmanship? Probably not.
3rd down and 8. Opening possession of the second half. Nebraska leads 17-14. The pump by Druckenmiller, and White never saw the ball coming. He had a step on the defender. Mike Pullman had the coverage. But White was twisting and turning, trying to find the football, and never did pick it up.
Druckenmiller threw this ball way before White even made his break, but he never could pick it up. Ball was fairly well thrown. Look at it. If you keep running, it might be there. Working on the true freshman, Ralph Brown.
You get more of an appreciation for what Druckenmiller has accomplished when you watch this team play a couple of times and you realize it is not an outstanding wide receiver core that they have. They're good, but not great. Very high, short punt by Kibble. Not what he had in mind. It bounces out at the 26-yard line. Just a 17-yard punt. Nebraska on offense for the first time in the second half in a moment. First chance with the ball here in the second half for Nebraska. The blockbuster blimp is known to be one of the fastest blimps flying. It's been clocked at speeds exceeding 70 miles per hour. We look forward to seeing the blockbuster blimp at future events here on CBS Sports.
But can you say that 3 times real fast?
It is a little hard. Blockbuster blimp.
There's a good football coach right there. Just turning 60. He's got a lot of years left in him.
On first down, Damon Benning, who started the game at I-back, powerful run. He put his head down and bowled his way across the 30 before Kerwin Hairston and John Engelberger took him down. Benning started at I-back, but we also saw Amon Green and Jay Sims.
Now, one of the questions they had at the top of the show was, could Brandon Simonis, number 21, right there at the bottom of your screen, stand up against the tight end, Timmy Carpenter? And you can see Carpenter wins that battle as Simonis never even gets into the play. He's an all-East guy, but undersized.
The leading tackler coming in, I'm not sure we called his name tonight.
We haven't.
On target to Jeff Lake, and it's a first down for Nebraska. And we check in with Dave Logan.
Okay, Sean, thank you very much. The injury that was sustained to left cornerback Michael Booker is not that bad. It was just a bruise of the right knee. He is expected to return. Sean?
Thank you, Dave. Ryan Terwilliger, who left early in the game, will not return. He left with a sprained lower back and strained right hamstring. They tell us now from the Nebraska sideline he will not be back. Out at the 41-yard line, first and 10 Huskers. 12-17 remaining, third quarter. Nebraska leads by 3. Damon Benning had a roller coaster ride of a career, he told us the other day. Now a senior, he's had chances to play, but then he's gotten hurt. Early in his career, he got hurt. A guy named Lawrence Phillips got a chance to play as a result. We know what happened there. And then Benning had a chance to play when Phillips had his problems last year. Benning gets hurt again. Here comes Amon Green, setting the freshman rushing record at Nebraska.
Said his first start, they're playing Texas Tech. He outgains Van Morris, but gets hurt, and all of a sudden, bang, here comes Lawrence Phillips. End of story.
Second and 6. The option by Scott Frost. He's across midfield. And down to the 45-yard line of Virginia Tech. Lauren Johnson tripped him up. Torian Gray finished the play for the Tech defense.
It's a favorite option play here for Scott Frost. And what they do is they're going to have the guard pull out, seal. The fullback right here does a great job taking the fake and bouncing and blocking either a linebacker or a safety on the contain. And Scott Frost will do a great job. Watch him follow the fullback, gets in behind him. Now the fullback can extend all the way out to the cornerback. Schuster didn't get the block he should have, and he knows it.
Frost, after the fake, has a man, and it's overthrown. Sheldon Jackson, the tight end, was open around the 15-yard line, and Frost airmailed him.
You know, I really like the job Frost did stepping up into the pocket. Power I formation, comes out, he steps up, creates, but he just overthrows Jackson. Look how open he is. If he can deliver that in stride, that's 6 points, folks, because he had him isolated on a linebacker.
And the decision to throw was the proper one because he was so wide open. Frost also could have run a long way on that play with the defenders running in coverage with their back turned. A lot of green grass ahead of him. Sean Wheating is checked in now. He wears number 33 and wingback. Frost, look out, there's Simonis. Frost got it off and throws it incomplete. Well, we talked about how Brandon Simonis is their leading tackler. He has only 1 tackle tonight. And that time he was in on the blitz and nearly got Frost for the sack, and there is no flag. The Hokies wanted a grounding call.
Simonis, number 21 from the right side of your screen, undersized at 6 feet, 190 at linebacker, is one of the quicker players around. Does a nice job, untouched. But let's give quarterback Scott Frost some credit. Just like Druckenmiller got rid of the football to avoid the sack.
Third down and 10. 1 back now and 2 tight ends. Damon Benning, the lone back. Here comes the blitz. Simonis again. It is caught. Rashawn Jackson tripped up short of the first down. It's a big tackle made by Pearson Prelo, the rover back, as he made the play about a yard short of the first down. 7 completions now to Frost. They've gone to 7 different receivers.
Simonis again coming from the top of your screen right there. Untouched by the tackle. Anderson forces the throw early and the tackle before the first down. So finally, we're starting to see Brandon Simonis, Sean, get involved in this football game.
Because they've been bringing him on the blitz.
Exactly.
Huskers going for it on 4th down and a yard. At the 36 of Tech, they lead 17-14 to the Cornhuskers. And Frost calls for timeout, and he got it with 1 second left. Back for the 4th down play after this.
Here's another Orange Bowl moment.
Nebraska 4th in the nation in rushing per game, 292 yards their average. Tech's held them to 100. That's a pretty good job.
And we talked a little bit earlier. That was the goal by Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator. He said, I think we can win the football game. We certainly can't let them anywhere near 300.
4th down and 1. And after the timeout, Tom Osborne has not changed his mind. He's going to go for it at the 36-yard line. 12 of 20 on 4th down this year are the Huskers.
Now their favorite set here is usually a wing or a power eye, which they're in right now.
It's Benning with the first down. All he needed to do was get to the 35. He bounced down to the 33-yard line. And a big first down picked up by Nebraska. Antonio Banks, the cornerback, made the tackle.
Every Nebraska fullback I've ever seen can block linebackers. Watch Brian Schuster, point of attack on the isolation play, coming in your screen, 28, big hit right there. That creates plenty of room for the running back, Damon Benning, to get a first down.
Benning, the lone back. 2 tight ends in the game, 9th play of the drive. Benning through a big hole. Damon Benning, touchdown Nebraska.
Backside guard and tackle pulls. Zadiska and Anderson do a great job. Benning goes north and south. That's what I like about him. Shows more quickness than people give him credit for. Dances into the end zone. Excellent drive by Nebraska.
33-yard touchdown run. The longest run of the season for Benning. Chris Brown out of the hold of Matt Turman. The extra point is good. And for the second time tonight, Nebraska has a 10-point lead. That's the largest lead of the night for the Huskers. Big East 2-0 in bowl games in this bowl season. Virginia Tech trying to make it 3-0. Joe Paterno in the Fiesta Bowl. Tomorrow night will try to maintain his perfect record in that game. And BYU looking for record 14th win this season in the Cotton Bowl. Brown's kickoff again goes out of the back of the end zone.
Well, Nebraska really has 2 signature plays in their run offense. One is option we've talked about the other day. The other is counter. And counter's the play they just scored on their last possession.
This is the 7th possession of the game for Virginia Tech. As the 6th time they've started at the 20 or worse. Druckenmiller will operate out of the shotgun. Virginia Tech trailed by 10 points in the first half. A late touchdown to make it a 3-point game at the break. Nebraska scored first here in the second half. Under pressure and dumped off to Parker's juggling catch. And he picks up 8 out to the 28-yard line. Octavius McFarland the tackle.
We talked about counter, the backside guard and tackle. The guard gets the kick, the tackle gets the seal inside. Benning steps up and watches acceleration through the hole. He's doing a great job taking advantage. Zadiska on the block, Anderson with the second one, and now he runs away from the corners who have bad support angles there. But a great job by Damon Benning.
2nd and a long 2. Oxendine and Parker in the eye. Druckenmiller shifts them out of the eye. He wants to go deep. Has Cornelius White out there. The ball is caught. And then he lost the football, and they're going to rule it incomplete. Well, how many times have we seen that happen tonight? That was a big problem watching that Holiday Bowl game last night for Washington against Colorado. They dropped all kinds of passes, so that might have been a different game.
And it was like a track meet, but watch what happens here. The inside receiver is going to be working on Mike Foreman. The cut, he uses them, turns them all the way around. Now you got to catch the football here. Good effort, but he's got it, he bobbles it. Let's see if this should be, it looks like maybe Foreman gets a hand on it. I'm not sure White ever has the football, and it's probably a good call.
3rd down and 2, and Parker with a tough run to get the first down. He had a lot of punishing work to do to get the tough 2 yards. Mike Minter and Octavius McFarland made the tackle. And whistle stopped the play, and officials timeout.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that Druckenmiller's getting a lot done without quality wide receivers. That's twice tonight where the starting wide receivers have dropped wide open post corner routes. And you can't do that if you want to get to the level of Nebraska and be a big time team. You can't do that in this situation.
Looks like they've been in a hurry to run before they catch it, realizing that they have a chance for a big play. Jay Hager, the big tackle, taken up on the last play. 313-pounder. Senior from Easley, South Carolina, making his 35th career start tonight. 3-year starter, 2nd team All Big East this season. And Derek Smith, who backs up at both tackle spots, is taking his place.
And he played real well for Haygood against Virginia 2 weeks ago. Did a nice job against Ashman.
1st and 10. 9 Huskers up around the line of scrimmage. Druckenmiller wants to go deep again. Single coverage, and the ball's overthrown. Well, they're going to keep doing it until they get it right. White was covered by Booker. Good to see him back in the game after taking that block from White in the knee.
Exactly right. But, you know, the thing here is with Nebraska, if you can protect your quarterback against that blitz and that pass rush, you're going to get some deep shots, because what they do is all man-to-man coverage with a free safety. So if you can protect your quarterback and you've got wide receivers who can get off press coverage, you're going to have some opportunities. The key is taking advantage of them.
They've thrown in the direction of White 4 times now, and they've only had 1 completion to Cornelius White. 2nd down and 10. 24-14 Nebraska. 3rd quarter.
8 men in the box for Nebraska. Very aggressive.
Snapped it with 2 on the play clock. Oxendine dragging tacklers across the 35. Gain of 5 for the man they call Ox, and that's a fitting nickname.
Has this been a statement game for him or what?
So
ran for over 100 yards in the first half, had another 40 yards in receptions in the first half. He had 141 total yards in the first half, and now he's rushed for 141 in the game.
3rd down and 5.
They come.
The rush well picked up. Druckenmiller throws a strike. That time it's caught by Brian Jennings. He's been one of the few sure-handed targets. First down for Virginia Tech with 7:46 left in the 3rd quarter.
Good job moving the chains, understanding what you need to get a first down. Frank Beamer spent an entire period in practice. They call it the 3rd down drill. And the whole concern was that the tight ends and wide receivers knew exactly where that first down marker was, getting beyond it so that they could come back to the football and still make the first down.
Ball nearly slipped through Jennings' hand, we saw on the replay. He only had 12 catches in the regular season, has 3 tonight. 7th play of the drive is a run. Oxendine tackled by Mike Minter and John Hess. Hess is a senior from Lincoln. This is his first year as a starter. He wound up as a first-team All-Big 12 player.
That's him right there, folks. Watch him make the play. Good job reading, reacting, and along with Minter making the play.
Well, the Huskers gang up on Oxendine. He got 2 before he was driven back. And it'll be 3rd and long again, and that's been a story tonight. 3rd and long most of the night for the Hokies.
Sure has, and that's because of their inability to produce on first down in the run game.
Frank Beamer, Virginia Tech graduate. His 10th season at Tech, 50 years old. Big East Coach of the Year for the 2nd consecutive year. Third down and 7 near midfield. Nebraska leads by 10 points. Druckenmiller stood in and fires a bullet to Jennings. First down into Nebraska territory at the 32-yard line.
Boy, what a good job in the offensive backfield by number 34, Marcus Parker, picking up the blitz. Here comes Hess from the right, McFarland from the left. Watch the contact with McFarland right there in the hole. That is the key to provide the hole for Druckenmiller to complete the pass to Jennings.
Great job by that big offensive line. Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator, watched his guys come up with 47 sacks this season. 2 shy of the school record set in 1985.
One of the most respected coaches on either side of the ball in the country.
Oxendine wrapped up and driven back by Jared Tomich. They'll give him the line of scrimmage, and that's all. Talked about Charlie McBride. This year, a great idea. The Frank Broyles Award given to the outstanding assistant coach in Division I college football. There are the 5 finalists. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator of Florida State, won the award. Charlie McBride was one of the 5 finalists selected by that panel. And when those guys think a lot of you, that's saying something.
That's blue ribbon right there. There's 6 of the best names in the history of college football. He's one of the 5 finalists. And congratulations to Mickey Andrews from Florida State.
Great to see assistant coaches get recognition. They do so much great work. And the pass incomplete off the hands of Oxendine. It'll be 3rd and long. Again.
Been a long, time-consuming drive here for Virginia Tech. They've run off a lot of plays, but they need to come away at the end of this with some points. You're down 10. You've got to stay. You can't let them separate too far.
They've had the ball in this drive for 4.5 minutes. They had almost a 2-to-1 edge in the first half. Chiron Stith into the game now. Oxendine out. On 3rd down and just more than 10.
Safety blitz.
Druckenmiller throws, has a man. This time it's caught by White. Touchdown Hokies.
Great job of recognition of the safety blitz, both by the quarterback and the wide receiver. Here they come. Number 1, the linebacker's coming, number 16, Stokes. Druckenmiller knows he's going to take a shot, but he takes it, delivers the football anyway. It's just a fly pattern against the true freshman Brown. That ball is right on the money, and Druckenmiller knew he was going to take a heavy shot.
And a sigh of relief on the Hokie sideline as the ball was caught. Shane Graham, the freshman, added the extra point. Once again, it's a 3-point game at the FedEx Orange Bowl.
Well, Eric Johnson, the outside linebacker, is coming on the outside. The free safety, Eric Stokes from the inside. Talk about recognition, fly pattern up top. The offensive line does a great job. Druckenmiller knows somebody's going to come loose. He delivers the football. Touchdown, Virginia Tech. Hey, are you as happy about that as I am?
He just wanted someone to hug and celebrate with him. Grab the referee.
You know, and Tech was 4 for 4 on 3rd down conversions. That's the sign of a quality offensive football team.
The touchdown was 33 yards on 3rd down and 10. Back to a 3-point game. Kibble pops up a short kickoff. Fielded by Benning at the 16. He has a lane. David Benning brings it all the way back to the 39. So advantage Nebraska in a big way on the kickoffs tonight. Cody Whipple made the tackle for Virginia Tech, a backup free safety out of Milford Academy in Connecticut. One of 4 players in this game who played at Milford Academy. Jason Peter of Nebraska, Billy Conatee, Gennaro DiNapoli, and Whipple for Virginia Tech. Outstanding drive by the Hokies. 80 yards. 3rd touchdown pass of the night by Druckenmiller. Only 1 possession in the second half for Nebraska. They scored a touchdown. Benning Slips down at the 44-yard line, but another quality gain of 5 on first down for the Huskers.
Staying right on target on first down, picking up 4 or 5 yards at a pop. Good job that time by Zadiska, the right guard. And Bennings, you know, he's really doing a nice job stepping it up and having a good, solid football game.
You mentioned Milford Academy. There's the coach at that school in the orange shirt and the glasses.
Right up there.
Good job, Mike. That's Jeff Bavino, very proud of his players on both sides tonight. Frost in trouble on the option. Turned it up the field. Good decision. He got very close to a first down. Looks to be about a yard short. Frost started his collegiate career at Stanford, as he said the other day when we chatted with him. Very few good high school football players leave the state of Nebraska. He did because he wanted to play for Bill Walsh, and you can understand that. Walsh left Stanford. Frost left, came back to Nebraska. And Tom Osborne feels he's a little bit behind in the option game because he hasn't been in the program for 3 or 4 years.
It was fun talking to him because you could tell he loved what he learned from Bill Walsh, but he had a heck of a lot more to learn on the option game here.
On third down. First down picked up by Damon Benning as he crossed midfield.
Good football player right there, Grant Wistrom. Short yardage situation, power eye. It's all about pushing the pile. Cornell Brown gets blocked, and a good job, first down.
First and 10 at the 49. Frost peels back to throw and throws behind his intended target. He was looking for Sean Wheating, the third-string wingback.
Interesting little play they got in the power eye, just like they were in the short yardage play before that. Play action tried to sneak Wheating up there, but a good job by Tech.
Well, we've had beautiful weather throughout the week for these two teams. Sunny every day, around 80 degrees, but now a little light rain falling at Pro Player Stadium.
Better than Philly and Boston right now, Sean.
Yes, it is, Mike. Second and 10. Option pitch, Benning. A lot of green grass ahead of him. Torian Gray and Cornell Brown. Pearson Prelo as well. In on the play for Tech to stop him short of the first down at the 43. Third down and a long 3 upcoming. Time of possession still almost 2-1 in favor of the Hokies.
A lot of people would have thought that graphic would have been reversed tonight. Big favorite Nebraska, but I'll tell you what, folks, these are two very similar football teams right here.
Huskers lead by 3 points late in the third quarter. Third down and 3. Frost, a lot of time to throw, and it is caught. Lauren Johnson, with the coverage, slipped down. Shevin Wiggins was wide open. Had he been able to stay on his feet while making the catch, he had a lot of running room because there was no defender nearby. First down at the 33-yard line.
Well, he had 2 guys wide open here, both Wiggins and Jeff Lake on the curl. Ball was a little bit underthrown here on the bootleg. This is the kind of play I think Nebraska's got to run. A little bootleg action. If he can stay on his feet, that's a big play.
Throw from Frost a little bit low. Nebraska marched right down the field on its only prior possession here in the second half. They're moving again. Quarterback draw. Frost ran into Simonis. And the play ends at the 30-yard line. Frost from a Nebraska family. Simonis from a Tech family. Scott Frost's dad, Larry, played fullback at Nebraska. His mother, a great track athlete.
Watch what happens. A little pass set, and then you release. Pass set, release, and he's looking for the seam right up in the middle. Pass set, go get him. And there's the hole right there. This guy's an athlete. He ran a 1.52 10-yard dash, one of the best on the team.
Second and 6, 8th play of the drive. The fullback, Makovica, able to squirt out of a tackle. He's very close to a first down inside the 25. Old Makovica's brother Jeff was the starting fullback for Nebraska last year. How about the story Scott Frost told us about his family? We mentioned his dad, Larry, was a halfback at Nebraska in the late 60s. His mom, Carol, the first Nebraska female track athlete to participate in the Olympics in '68. She won a gold medal in the discus at the Pan Am Games in '67. She says, Mom is the best athlete in the family, and she's the one I go play catch with in the backyard. She puts on the receiving glove. I can throw the ball as hard as I can from 20 yards away, and she'll catch the football.
And he didn't even hesitate. He said, Mom's the best.
Another 3rd and 1. Frost keeps. And it is a first down. Frost's dad was his head high school football coach at Wood River in Nebraska. And Mrs. Frost, Carol, is the receivers coach.
At least in the front yard.
No, he is actually the receivers coach and the defensive backfield coach for the high school football team.
Sean, you know what's kind of interesting here in the second half? You're starting to see the offenses take over a little bit in the football game right now. First half, a little bit more of a defensive struggle, but both offenses got it going right now. Tech makes the big drive down the field. Here comes Nebraska right back.
There is an injured Hokie on the play. Cotton Bowl Classic comes your way tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern Time. Number 14 Kansas State against BYU, looking for that record 14th win of the season. And the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at 8 Eastern Time. Penn State and Texas.
Jopa and John Makovic, and I wonder if Makovic is going to stay at Texas. I mean, he's got some NFL experience, and who knows, this could be his last collegiate game.
Royale Brown appears to be okay as he comes off the field. He missed a couple of games earlier in the year with arthroscopic surgery on his left knee.
Look at the cut block there, right there. No question where it happened. He also hurt that ankle in practice last Friday morning.
10th play of the drive. It's 1st and 10. Nebraska on the move. Benning wants to throw. He throws to the end zone and flags are down. Interference against Lauren Johnson. Lance Brown, the intended receiver. And Johnson collided with him in the end zone.
Let's remember the college rule, though. It doesn't go to the point of contact on the interference. It's 15 yards, or in this case, half the distance, so they'll go from about the 24 down to the 12. No question about the pass interference. Good call, though, Sean, huh? A little play action.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Ball's underthrown. Johnson's got to get his head on a swivel and locate the football instead of just running into Lance Brown. In college football, there's no such thing as face guarding, but the contact is obviously illegal in that situation.
Johnson guilty of pass interference. The walk-off moves the ball inside the 10. Makovica and Benning in the eye behind Frost. 4th penalty tonight on Tech, 3 on the defense. Frost, the pitch to Benning. Good catch of the low pitch. And the tackle made by Tony Morrison with help from Torian Gray.
That Joel Makovica can knock some people down. Took the fake, knocked a couple people down on the corner. Damon Benning gets right in behind him. Heskew with the good cutoff block from the center position. There's the pitch. Gets right in behind Makovica. Good, solid first down play.
Makovica, we mentioned his brother Jeff, the fullback last year, and their dad John was a great NAIA All-American player at Kearney State in the late 60s and was in the Nebraska College Football Hall of Fame. 2nd and goal to 6. Benning stumbles to the goal line. Touchdown!
Big offensive tackle. Adam True ran in the end zone with him. This is the counter again. Backside guard and tackle. This time it's Taylor and True right in the hole. And look, Adam True's just pulling him right into the end zone with him. Dixman gets the block. Excuse me, Taylor on the block. And here comes True along with Benning.
Great job by Benning while he was going down to lunge for the end zone. His 2nd touchdown of the night. Brown adds the extra point. And once again, the lead is 10 for the 3rd time tonight. The Huskers have a 10-point advantage late in the 3rd quarter in Miami. We welcome you back live to the 1996 FedEx Orange Bowl from Pro Player Stadium, just outside downtown Miami. 20 seconds left in the third quarter. And Nebraska leads again by 10. Chris Brown will be trying for a touchback again. Not this time. Scales will have a chance to run it back from the 5. And needed well to get to the 20.
We talked about the counter premier play, the backside guard and tackle. In this case, Taylor and True will pull, get the kick out block. They hand the ball off to Benning, and he uses their blocks to cut up inside for a touchdown. Now here's the touchdown. Watch what happens with the backside guard and tackle. They will pull out. There's the block by Taylor. True comes through, and instead of getting ahead, he kind of grabs his elbow and pulls him into the end zone. Not quite like you diagram it, but effective nonetheless.
61 yards. Nebraska starting to make it look easy on offense against the Tech defense. Under the last play of the quarter, Ken Oxendine picks up a yard before he was tackled by Jay Foreman, the son of the former great Minnesota Viking Chuck Foreman. That's the end of the third quarter. The score: Nebraska 31, Virginia Tech 21. CBS Sports coverage of the FedEx Orange Bowl will continue after this message and a word from your local station. "15 minutes remaining in regulation time. Nebraska once again with a 10-point lead. Sean McDonough with Mike Mayock. And the game now keeps going back and forth between a 3-point lead for Nebraska and a 10-point lead. Sooner or later, the Tech defense is going to have to step up and stop somebody.
You know, it's neat. It's like a great heavyweight fight. Nebraska keeps hitting them with the left hook, and it looks like they might be down. And here comes Tech on another long drive. I mean, if this continues, they're not going to be the only ones tired out there. I think you and I will be, too.
2nd and 10 on the first play of the fourth quarter. Virginia Tech at its own 20. Druckenmiller under a 4-man rush. Has to drop it off in the flat. Oxendine with some running room. On a block from Sean Scales, and made it all the way out to the 40 for a gain of 20. Eric Johnson and Eric Stokes combining on the stop on Oxendine. He only had 4 receptions in the entire regular season. He has 3 tonight.
You know, I am so impressed with those two guys, Druckenmiller and Oxendine. He will take another shot. Wickstrom from the backside. Peter coming up the middle. He delivers it right on target, in stride, and Oxendine does the rest. Huge games for those two guys.
Fourth quarter underway. Marcus Parker. A couple out to the 42. In the courtroom or on the killing fields, the nation's best defense is a pair of criminal prosecutors. David James Elliott is commander. Harmon Rabb. Don't miss the series premiere of Jag here on CBS Friday at 9 Eastern time, 8 Central. 2nd and 8. Shifted from the shotgun into the eye. Play clock at 3. And timeout call. That could hurt them later on.
You hate to burn one this early in the half. You just, oh boy, do they come back to kill you later on.
They were over the ball a long time, but Druckenmiller couldn't make up his mind. And light rain has begun to fall again. We'd like to thank the Blockbuster blimp for providing us with these beautiful aerial views. It's flying over this event at an altitude of 1,000 feet. Nebraska 31, Virginia Tech 21. Just more than 14 minutes remaining in the 63rd FedEx Orange Bowl. 2nd down, a short 8 for Virginia Tech, operating from their own 43-yard line. Druckenmiller forced to burn a timeout. And just a 4-man rush, and Druckenmiller's pass is incomplete. Another ball that could have been caught and was not. Brian Jennings, who's been one of the few short-handed receivers tonight for the Hokies, had it bounce off his fingertips.
got a little game here. You're going to have your All-American come around, and you're going to have Jason Peter come this way. He just about gets to the quarterback. Wistrom goes around, little twist, little stunt, just about gets to Druckenmiller, forces the ball to be delivered. Those two guys can really get it going, Wistrom and Peter.
Possibility Wistrom might forego his senior year. That decision will be made after this game. Druckenmiller decides to run. Excellent decision. Jim Druckenmiller slides down at the 41-yard line of Nebraska with a first down. McFarland closest in pursuit as Druckenmiller went into the slide. A gain of 16, another important third down conversion.
Once again, the recognition by Jim Druckenmiller on third down. Out of the gun, Conatee looking left and right, step up into the pocket. The safeties have separated. Plenty of room. This time they're going to get a good piece of Wistrom. Haygood actually blocking two people. Great job on Wistrom.
Deep drop, Druckenmiller. He runs out of time. Now he's going to run again. Slides at the 31. And he's close to a first down. Took a pop from Jamel Williams as he went into the slide. Jason Peter forced Druckenmiller out of the pocket.
Now, everybody said this guy can't run, he can't get it done, he doesn't have feet. Well, watch Jason Peter, almost gets him there. He steps up in, ducks away. I don't care if he doesn't look fast. The guy has the presence, the understanding of the game, and the physical ability to get it done. That's Jim Kelly waiting to happen right there, folks, number 16.
Druckenmiller from Northampton, Pennsylvania, between Allentown, PA, and New York City. He's 20-3 in his career as the starting quarterback. Waited behind Maurice DeShazo, the all-time leader in total offense at Virginia Tech. And Druckenmiller thought a couple of times about transferring. He's awfully glad he didn't.
Completely different style quarterbacks, too. DeShazo was a great option quarterback. They got in the eye. Ricky Bussell knew what he had, and they really took advantage of DeShazo's talent. That's why I like Bussell so much. Now he's got a big drop-back guy. His offensive scheme is definitely flexible enough to take advantage of whatever skills you have at that position.
Out of high school, the only other school approaching Jim Druckenmiller about playing football is East Stroudsburg. He went to Fort Union Military Academy, then to Virginia Tech on a scholarship. Second and 1. Lots of time still on the play clock. Oxendine.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
He's back at the 50-yard line and in a heap of trouble. Oh, what a big play.
Whoa.
Second and inches. Now third down and about 20.
Wow. Ken Oxendine is a smart enough kid to say, why did I do that?
And there is a flag on the play. And it gets worse for Virginia Tech.
Second and inches on the 31-yard line in field goal position. Now you're fighting for your life back on your own side of the line of scrimmage. Just a little ISO play. He gets pushed back because of, but right there you just got to go down. That was Jared Tomich doing a great job fighting through the block of TJ Washington. Sometimes you got to know when to fold your tents and get down.
What a huge play. Virginia Tech had a sequence much like this in the first half as well.
Exactly right. Can't self-destruct against a team like Nebraska. They're just too good. They'll take advantage of it.
And about a foot at the 31-yard line of Nebraska. Now they're back at their own 41.
Wow. Still second down.
Yeah, here's a penalty. Sort of a mixed blessing there.
Yeah, here's a situation where you're not going to get it all back in one shot. You're going to try and get 12 to 15 yards and give yourself a realistic shot on third down.
Under 13 minutes remaining now. Druckenmiller throws short. Another drop by Jennings. That's the story of the night for the Virginia Tech offense.
Yeah, they've had two or maybe probably 3 or 4 drops by the wide receivers. That was the first one by Jennings, who's had a pretty good game tonight. Maybe the second one by Jennings.
He had one a moment ago.
Right.
Third down to the mile now. 3rd and 27. Nebraska leads 31-21. Only 2 wide receivers on the field. And lots of men up around the line of scrimmage for Nebraska. They shift into the eye.
Or on draw, something like that.
Druckenmiller going deep again. Scales is out there. It's too long. Overthrown by about 2 yards. He was running with 2 defenders, but he was open.
Yeah, I don't get that. 3rd and about 1 million. How do you beat somebody deep on a post cut? I don't get that one. Here you got Scales isolated initially on Michael Fulman, and he's going to get free safety help also. That's just a post route down the middle of the field. Why is the free safety running like that 3 yards behind in that situation?
Jimmy Kibble to punt. Another short, wobbly kick. Fortunately for Kibble, it took a bounce. Pullman flags down a clip against Cheatham, a very obvious clip. And perhaps for the first time tonight, field position swings in favor of Virginia Tech.
Lucky bounce for Kibble, and then a bad penalty by Cheatham are going to combine to put them back inside the 10.
Tom Osborne told us a couple of days ago the reason he always has 3 men back, or usually has 3 men back to catch the punts, is for that reason. He doesn't want the ball hitting the ground. They've been very successful in punt returns over the years using that system.
You know, Sean, he's old school. 3 guys back for that exact reason. And then on punt team, he goes tight punt. He will not put ends out either way just for that reason.
Nebraska will begin at its own 5 in a moment. Here at the Orange Bowl, Virginia Tech had the lead briefly, 7-0 on a touchdown reception by Marcus Parker. Field goal by Chris Brown made it 7-3. Then Nebraska took the lead for the first time at 10-7 on cross touchdown run. The lead went to 10 points for the first time on Peters' recovery and 31-yard with a run with a fumble by Jim Druckenmiller. Late touchdown just before the half made it 17-14. We'll continue the summary as time permits. Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, hoping that his group can stop Nebraska for the first time in the second half. 2 possessions for the Huskers and 2 touchdowns.
And we had talked about that 180-yard barrier. Nebraska was approaching it on that last series. They may be over it now. They've got 173 yards. We've got 12 minutes left in the game.
Jay Sims, the eye back now. Good fake by Frost. Man wide open, and it's dropped. Wow. Tough catch for Sheldon Jackson as he was twisting and turning. Put his left hand up, and it clanged off it. But he was behind the defense and had a chance to go 95 if they had completed that play.
And boy, do I like the call there by Tom Osborne. Backed up in your own 5-yard line. Tech 8-man front, aggressive. Torian Gray, number 14, bit on the fake, allowing Jackson to get behind him. If he gets a better pass out in front of him, as Sean just said, he's still running. A lot of missed opportunities tonight, Sean, both teams.
That's the 3rd drop by Nebraska. Tech's had more than that. Sims remains the eye back. They give it to the fullback Schuster. He's out near the 9-yard line, a gain of 4 for Schuster. Ryan's a senior from Fullerton, Nebraska, married. He and his wife Chelsea have 2 children, a 1-year-old daughter Samantha, a son Ryan, who was born 2 days before the Big 12 championship game earlier this month.
It was kind of a mixed week for them, huh?
Yeah. He's also the cousin of former Husker quarterback Jerry Godowski. There's a big play upcoming right here. Virginia Tech could use 3 plays and a punt with the clock running under 12 minutes remaining, and with Nebraska leading by 10. 3rd and 6. Frost throws, first down, and almost breaking free was Chevin Wiggins. He was tripped up by Keon Carpenter, or that might have been a lengthy play.
Nice job by Scott Frost. He had 2 receivers in that route. He looked off to the wide guy, came back across his body to Chevin Wiggins. And as you just said, Sean, that's a key first down here. Good job coming back across his body, spotting Wiggins. He did a good job looking off Pearson Kralow.
3 catches for Wiggins, all of them on 3rd down. clock, under 11.5 minutes remaining now. Frost has an alley, and he's close to another first down. This Nebraska offense has been unstoppable here in the second half. Myron Newsom and Torian Gray made the play on Frost, and they are going to measure.
You know, when you ask people about the Nebraska wide receivers, they all start off by saying, boy, can they block. And on that play on the option, the split end, Brendan Holbein from the left side of your screen will come in, make the key block on Simonis right there. That's Kenny Cheatham, excuse me, on Simonis. Simonis had quarterback, and once he's eliminated, they've got to get a quicker replacement by the corner.
Frost came up about a foot short of the first down. Frost struggled at the start of the season, as you might expect. Hadn't played much football since his senior year in high school. Spent a couple of years at Stanford as a backup to Steve Stenstrom, then sat out a year as a transfer. He's got much better as the season has gone along. He felt that he was unfairly made a scapegoat earlier in the year, particularly after the loss against Arizona State. He said, I didn't play very well, but a lot of guys didn't play very well.
See, the problem is they're comparing him to the guy that just left, who was a special football player by the name of Tommy Frazier. That's an unfair comparison for a guy in his first year as a starter. And if you want to even take it on the macro level, they're comparing this whole team to the last 3 teams, and that's probably unfair too.
Also comparing Frost to Brooke Behringer, the former Husker quarterback who was killed in a plane crash in April. You see the number 18 decals on the back of the Nebraska helmets. They've dedicated this season in the memory of Brooke Behringer. Nothing fancy on 2nd and inches. The fullback Schuster picks up the first down. They move the chains and keep the clock moving. Tony Morrison made the tackle.
Talk about the importance of first down for offensive teams. Nebraska has run the ball 15 times on first down. 12 of them, they got more than 4 yards. It keeps them on schedule. Makes them in a situation where they're going to have 3rd and short.
From the 35, 1st and 10. Jay Sims, another good gain on first down. He's out to the 40, gain of 5, tackle.
You know, Nebraska's offensive line is starting to exact its toll. It's probably the best in the country. Here's Sheldon Jackson on All-American Cornell Brown. The turnout block, though, by number 75, Chris Dishman. That's All-American on All-American, and Dishman can't wait to get a piece of Cornell Brown.
Backfield now, and the pitch back to Sims. He goes out of bounds, close to another first down. At the 46-yard line, he appears to have the first down. Myron Newsom knocked him out of bounds.
They've had 2 long drives already this half. Here comes the 3rd. Good blocking, the pitch, and here comes the block by number 28, Schuster. Sims in behind. And Sean, you can really see this offensive line from Nebraska really starting to take control of the football game.
Nebraska has not been stopped here in the second half.
59, Heskew's really the key guy. It allowed them to move Taylor from center back to guard and Dishman from guard to tackle. His development as a center over the year allowed them to make the move.
Timeout called by Virginia Tech. They only have 1 remaining, and they're down by 10. Total yardage still in favor of Virginia Tech, but Nebraska is starting to pile up the rushing yards, 119 of the 200 here in the second half, and we still have 10 minutes and 11 seconds remaining. And the big play in the game remains the only turnover committed by either team, the fumble by Druckenmiller, which was run in by Jason Peter for 31 yards.
And we've got a 10-point game now. Nebraska started this drive on its own 5. It's hard to go 95 without making a mistake.
8th play of the drive. 1st and 10 at their own 46. Virginia Tech has burned 2 timeouts. Hokies have only 1 remaining. And it's a very tired-looking Virginia Tech defense now. Jay Sims with another first down for the Huskers on a pickup of 11.
You make a good point, Sean. They look very tired. Poor tackling. Watch number 1 right in the middle of your screen, Keon Carpenter. He's not touched. He's got a clean shot. Come on, you got to make that tackle.
They don't have the depth they would want on defense. A couple of players didn't make the trip for various reasons. Nate Williams, a backup tackle. Myron Edmond, backup linebacker, are not here. Ordinarily, they'd be second teamers. Frost throws, and it's caught for another first down by Jeff Lake. He's down at the 26-yard line, 17 more on the pass play.
If Frost puts this ball on the money, Lake would still be running. They take an inside tight end, run him up the field, and then underneath they clear Lake. If he can catch it in stride, there's nobody within 8 yards of him. But a very good concept. Tight end, Jackson clears, Lake comes underneath.
Lake's a former walk-on. Tom Osborne's had great success with walk-ons over the years. More than 100 players dressed for this game, many of them walk-ons. Jay Sims driven back. One of the few plays that's been stuffed by the Virginia Tech defense. Cornell Brown and Tony Morrison combining on that play.
Spread the field with 4 wides and then hope to run draw inside, but the interior line, Cornell Brown follows down the down block by number 75, Chris Dishman, and makes a heck of a play.
Loss of a yard. It'll be second down and 11. Amon Green back on the field now. The only back behind Frost. 2 tight ends in the game. Frost turns it upfield. He's shirt tackled at the 20-yard line by Pearson Prelo. Good decision by Frost. Very intelligent young man. 3.64 grade point average in business administration.
2 plays are killing Virginia Tech right now. The counter and this one right here. Here's speed option. Good decision by Frost. Holds onto the football, picks up more good yardage. And Sean, this is just a classic drive that started on their own 5-yard line. They've gone 75 yards so far.
Shoot up more than 4 minutes. The game clock down to 8:05. Third down and 3. Frost. Simonis didn't contain him. Frost throws to the end zone, and it's incomplete. Another man open, another pass off fingertips. Rashawn Jackson was the receiver. Keon Carpenter had the coverage, and Nebraska will opt for a field goal try.
Man, I really like the call, but you got to convert when a guy's this open. Here, what's going to happen is number 34, Rashawn Jackson, after play action, is running the post. Everybody goes this way, quarterback comes back. You got to hit Jackson when he's this wide open. There's the play fake. Look at him down the middle of the field. 5 yards of separation. The ball's thrown late, but it still should be caught.
Chris Brown trying a 37-yard field goal out of Terman's hold, and it is good. The sophomore from Southlake, Texas, Chris Brown, gives Nebraska its largest lead of the night. Now 13 points at 34-21. Nebraska in its 16th Orange Bowl. Virginia Tech in its first. The Huskers lead 34-21. Nebraska 6-9 all time in the Orange Bowl. Only 2-7 under Tom Osborne, but they'll always remember their last appearance here as they won their first national championship for Coach Osborne. Chris Brown's kickoff downed again. That's the 5th time that's happened. Sean Scales took a knee. That was a big field goal instead of a touchdown, which it easily could have been, because now Virginia Tech is still within 2 touchdowns, and as we've seen, they can score quickly.
Yeah, bottom line is you're down 13 with 7:52 left. 2 touchdowns wins a football game, so there's plenty of time, but it's got to start here scoring, but then it's got to be transferred to the Virginia Tech defense because they've got to stop people.
Now the shotgun, and they shift once again into the eye. Parker and Oxendine. Druckenmiller running away from Tomich, took it down and threw, and it is incomplete. Mike Minter looked like he was going to have an interception, but he couldn't hang on.
Bad decision by Druckenmiller, but I don't think we haven't seen a defensive back or a wide receiver catch a pass all day, have we?
If he caught that, both teams would try to move him to their offense.
Bootleg. Druckenmiller makes a poor decision. Late back across the middle. You never do that. It looks like, though, maybe in all fairness, I think the ball was tipped by 28 Jamel Williams right there, and that's why Minter didn't catch the football. So we got to give him a break there. Sorry, Michael. going to the Senior Bowl this year along with a bunch of his teammates.
Very religious young man. He grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma. He said, I was always a Nebraska fan. I used to drive my friends and family crazy in the Nebraska-Oklahoma game every year. I cheer for Nebraska.
Just something about that red and white. Had to play here.
And Druckenmiller's coming to the sideline.
Looks like the trainer pointed to his eye. He probably has a cut. Once they stop the game, he's got to come out. They've got to bring another guy in unless they want to burn their final timeout.
Al Clark is the backup quarterback. Last year in the preseason, Clark and Druckenmiller had a spirited battle to see who would be the #1 quarterback. Druckenmiller won the battle, and as a result, the Hokies have had 2 excellent years. Jim Druckenmiller has missed on his last 4 pass attempts. Clark steps into 2nd and 10 from his own 20.
This might be a one-play situation here for Al Clark.
And they don't ask him to do anything too dramatic. A handoff to the fullback Parker. Now that's a gain of 3. Larry Hagman is returning to CBS. A new dramatic series, Orleans. He plays a judge who bends the rules but never breaks the law. The 2-hour series premiere comes your way Wednesday on CBS. Druckenmiller back at quarterback. Now Clark can say he played in the Orange Bowl. Big play. 3rd down and a long 7. Only a 4-man rush, but they put pressure on Druckenmiller, and his pass is incomplete. Pressure from Tomic forced the incompletion, and Frank Beamer has no choice. He has to punt with 7 minutes left.
Those defensive linemen from Nebraska, man, they can run. Tomic and Wistrom are so quick. Their first step off the ball is impressive. And Sean, what it's really come down to is that the big guys on both sides of the line of scrimmage for Nebraska have dominated the football game in the second half.
This is the first 3 and out of the night for Virginia Tech. Coleman is very deep, standing at his own 35-yard line.
The Kibble can't get it there.
No, he's not had a good night punting.
Low liner.
It is caught by Octavius McFarland, and he gets banged down by Jamel Smith at the 45-yard line. 40-yard punt, but again low and returnable, and an 8-yard return by McFarland. 6:50 remaining in Miami. Jim Druckenmiller on the headset. Ricky Bussell. Time running out.
He looks a little beat up there, doesn't he?
Yep. He's been under siege all night.
I'll say. And he's stuck in there just like Ricky Bussell said he would. He took every hit.
A game of field position, and Nebraska's had a great edge. And fresh legs from Ahman Green. And he's all the way down to the 33-yard line. Antonio Banks brought him down after a gain of 22.
Fresh legs, you're not kidding, man. All of a sudden, you got an All-American type tailback in the game late in the 4th quarter with fresh legs. Great job by Zadiska and Anderson. The right guard and tackle here and here. They're going to pull out. Good job by Zadiska. Now Green gets in behind Anderson, breaks the tackle once again of Torian Gray in the open field. He is a bear.
When he's fully healthy, he's the fastest player on the team, clocking 4.34 in the 40. This is 4th carry of the night, and he is wrestled back down to the ground by Waverly Jackson. He's the emotional leader of that Tech defense. We watched him at practice on Saturday give a spirited speech to the entire team after practice, telling them stay away from the party scene. You're here to play football.
Yeah, I got a kick out of it. It was kind of fun, and we talked to some of the players later to ask them what Waverly said, and every one of them said he kind of warned us in no uncertain terms that if we didn't get focused on this game and away from the party scene, we'd have to answer to Waverly himself.
2nd down and 9. 5:40 remaining. Nebraska leads by 13. Green. No big surprise there. Loose football. And it's recovered by Nebraska. Looked like Rashawn Jackson, the tight end, fell on the fumble. Nebraska has not turned it over tonight. Frank Beamer really needed one there.
See,
Almost got it.
That's the downside to a guy like Green, who has missed a couple of games, has not practiced hard, is not used to the contact. Sure, he's got fresh legs, but he's also not used to protecting the football in a physical game. There's a good hit in there, too.
Rare third down and long now, 3rd and 8. 5 minutes remaining. Some confusion from Nebraska. You saw Tom Osborne hollering a moment ago. Frost is going to throw, as all day. Has a man. The tight end has a first down. Sheldon Jackson. Down at the 20-yard line. A big conversion on 3rd down and 8.
Nice job looking out to the sidelines to his 2 wide receivers and waiting for Jackson to come in, working the middle underneath. Good play call by Tom Osborne.
He calls the plays, and the mix of plays tonight has been very impressive. They scored 34 points on an outstanding defense. They made it look easy here in the second half. Green still an I-back behind Makovica. Frost in trouble. Gets away from Engelberger. But not from Simonis. And he compounded the problem by failing to get out of bounds. Clock stopped with 4:15 remaining. Failing to stay inbounds, I should say. Let's go down to Dave Logan.
Okay, Sean, just want to get you caught up on quarterback Jim Druckenmiller. He lost the contact apparently, and what they've done is the trainers here have found him a new one, so he's good to go. So if they ever get the football back, he will get one last shot in the game tonight. Sean?
And he's hoping for that shot as he looks up at the clock.
Those 200 yards would be increased if they had a couple of balls that were dropped, caught.
Second and 11. Hand off to the fullback, and Makovica gets stumped. That's a loss. Half a yard. That'll take the clock down under 4 minutes remaining.
That's a big stop right there. They need another one on 3rd and 11 to force a field goal. And then they need one of those big special teams plays we've been talking about all night, because once it gets to 16, then it gets even tougher. You need 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions just to get it into overtime.
3rd down and 12, 7th play of the drive. Frost has a lot of running room. Frost inside the 10. Touchdown! Great run by Frost.
Now, at some point, we're going to have to give Scott Frost his due. He's done a great job here. Number 67, Aaron Taylor on the seal. Amon Green was supposed to be there for the shovel pass, never showed. Frost had the presence of mind to cut it back. Let's see if he breaks the plane of the goal line. Look at this stretch. Sean, he might not be a great passer. He may not be a great runner, but he's a very good college quarterback.
Chris Brown drills the extra point. And the Huskers are on their way to victory. It appears in the FedEx Orange Bowl, leading by 20 with 3:26 remaining. 20-point lead now for Nebraska. It was a 3-point game at halftime, but Nebraska's offense has been unstoppable here in the second half. And Chris Brown has been a key factor with his kickoffs time after time into the end zone. This one will be returnable for Sean Scales. Started at the 8. They hand it off on a reverse. Cornelius White has some running room. Looking to pick up blockers. He gets blocks. Cornelius White inside the 30 and all the way to the 25-yard line. So a little trickery on special teams, and it pays off in a big way. Tony Ortiz made the tackle for Nebraska.
Boy, that's a great job. Virginia Tech getting the ball right back down to the 26-yard line with an opportunity to keep playing. Now watch what happens here. Scales with the ball. Starts out on a left return behind the wall. The handoff, perfect timing to White. At this point, he's got a whole group of blockers out ahead of him. They do a good job forcing him back inside right here where the pursuit, the kicker does a good job in the pursuit right there of number 37 from Nebraska, Tony Ortiz.
67 yards on the return, the longest kickoff return allowed by Nebraska this year. Druckenmiller operating out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Druckenmiller throws to the man open. The defender slipped down, and Stewie slipped down as well while making the catch, but he has a first down at the 10-yard line, and Tech will go without a huddle.
Wow. Michael Minner fell down. If Druckenmiller hits him in stride, that's 6 points in one play.
Clock stopped momentarily while they moved the chains. Now they'll run under 3 minutes on this play. Druckenmiller flushed and throws it over the head of Oxendine. Tomic and Oldgard putting the pressure on Druckenmiller.
Tomic was a Lombardi finalist, Walter Camp All-American, another one of those guys playing in the Senior Bowl. I mean, look at him, 265 pounds. He runs a 4.65 or a 4.740. These guys all fly.
2nd and 10. Inside handoff. Cut back Oxendine. He appeared to trip over his own man. Looked like he was tripped up by the left tackle, Jay Haygood.
It looked like he was going to pop through here on the inside handoff out of the shotgun. Conaty's going to peel back on Hess. Good cut right there on Wistrom. Now he's going to trip right over his tackle, Haygood, or that would have been a touchdown.
3rd down and 5. They fake it to Oxendine. Druckenmiller throws incomplete. Looking for Scales. Tomic applying pressure. And a field goal really does them no good. They'll have to go for the touchdown on 4th down.
No question about that. I'm amazed he even got the football off in the vicinity that time of Scales. There was so much pressure on Druckenmiller. They're really coming after him now. They're going to have to do something, get rid of the football quickly because they're putting so much pressure on him.
4th down and 5. They could get a first down very close to the goal line. Druckenmiller has a lot of time. Throws a strike, incomplete. Intended for Gildersleeve. Mike Pullman broke it up. And the Nebraska defense holds after the long kickoff return. And they take over with 2:18 left, and Virginia Tech in possession of only 1 timeout.
Excellent coverage by Pullman at 5'7", 170. This time they only rushed 4. Druckenmiller had time, but they played a bracket. 3 defensive backs on 2 wide receivers. Watch the drive on the football by Pullman and Gildersleeve. Even if the ball's caught, it's not a first down.
Like
excellent
Pullman
job.
Had the right arm on the back when the ball was coming. He wanted to make sure he didn't see a flag. New quarterback for Nebraska. Matt Turman, the senior from Wahoo, Nebraska. Hands it off to Amon Green. He's out to the 13. There's Turman, who's appeared in 9 games during the regular season.
Now he's listed at 5'11", but we saw him out of practice next day. He was standing next to our producer, Mike Arnold, who can't be more than about 4'8".
Oh, no.
And I don't think he was taller than him.
Wow.
What do you think?
I always thought you and Mike Arnold were good pals till that. 2nd and 4. The 5'11" for Turman is probably a little bit generous. 185. Green picks up a first down. Tomorrow on CBS, the Southwestern Bell Cotton Bowl Classic. K-State and BYU. That's at 1:30 Eastern Time. Followed by the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl at 8. As Penn State takes on Texas. Terrific season, terrific run for Virginia Tech in a bowl for the 4th straight year, but the reality that this is going to be a rare loss for the Hokies has set in.
Kind of their own medicine right back at them. They've been used to wearing people down, winning the game in the 4th quarter, being the physical team that can overcome. But let's face it, when you're talking about those kind of qualities, Nebraska is still the master. Those offensive and defensive lines in Nebraska took the game over.
Virginia Tech players felt they needed this game to convince people around the country that they were a legitimate top 10 power. Perhaps they'll still have to earn that respect next year. That's a first down. Genuine Chevrolet players of the game are Ken Oxendine from Virginia Tech. He rushed for 150 yards and also had 60 yards receiving. And Scott Frost did a terrific job running the Nebraska offense tonight and scored 2 touchdowns, including the last one. Well, we wondered how ready Nebraska would be to play. The players said we're ready, and they played hard and well tonight. Interesting, Jason Peter told us about the phone call he had from his brother Christian Peter. Christian Peter said, when I came to Nebraska, they had a reputation of being a team that would win a lot of games but never win the big game. The 2 national championships.
You can't take it back like that, baby. I took it back for 6.
He said the 2 national championships did away with that, but if they lose the Big 12 championship game and then the bowl game, 2 games they're expected to win, Christian Peter's concern, as he expressed it to Jason, was people start saying again, there goes Nebraska, can't win the games at the end of the year.
Right. Well, they certainly proved something tonight, and that was pretty funny seeing Jason Peter looking right in the camera and talking to his brother Christian and saying, hey, you couldn't have done that. This is something you can't, pal.
Well, it really was the biggest play of the game, the 31-yard fumble return, the only turnover of the night. Turman showing off his rushing ability. Torian Gray the tackle, and the 63rd FedEx Orange Bowl is history. 20-point win with Tom Osborne and the Cornhuskers. 41-21 the final. 4th straight year Nebraska has won 11 games, and for Tech, a 10-2 finish for Frank Beamer. For Mike Mayock and Dave Logan, Sean McDonough saying so long. We'll join Pat O'Brien in New York. Happy New Year.
All right, Coach, first of all, congratulations on another fine performance by your team. They made it close in the first half, but in the second half, Coach, your interior just really chewed them up.
Well, we were hoping that we had a little more depth and maybe conditioning. We could be a dominant team in the 4th quarter, and that's kind of the way it worked out. I thought Scott Frost played an awfully good game. He threw the ball well, and defensively we made some plays when we had to. But overall, it was a tough game. They have a good team.
You came in, Coach, a little thin at the eye back spot, a little uncertain because of some of the injuries, but Damon Benning really stepped up big time, didn't he?
Yeah, Damon had a great game. Jay Sims played pretty well. And then Amon Green was able to play some, so that really helped us. D'Angelo Evans really wasn't able to play tonight, but overall, those guys came through for us.
All right, Coach, congratulations.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, let's go back to Pat O'Brien in New York. Pat.
Dave, you're on.
Thank you very much, Pat. First of all, Damon Benning, congratulations on a fine performance this evening. 15 carries, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns. You were thin tonight, but you stepped up big time for your team.
Yeah, I think that the coaches told us all week long that they were going to go at the guys that were able to practice hard and go full speed. And Jay and I knew that we'd have to shoulder the load. And it felt really good being a co-captain and a senior to help put my team in position to play well.
Virginia Tech, they've got one heck of a defense. First half, they played you tough, but in the second half, your interior linemen just really chewed them up and opened up some big holes for you.
Yeah, Coach Osborne worked us so hard these last 2 weeks, and we came down here early to get in shape and work hard, and we're in pads 5 days, and that's a lot for a bowl game, and he knew that we could wear them down if we kept it close in the second half, and we did.
Okay, excellent performance tonight.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Damon Benning, let's go back to Pat O'Brien in New York. Pat.